And we are live with another episode of the Keeg Talks. Today, the Keeg Talks Superman, the character, but specifically the movie that just came out a couple days ago. I am your host, Dimithri Pereira, and if you're watching us live, you're watching us on youtube.com/The Keeg Show, or maybe you're listening to the podcast wherever you get your podcast from. But no matter how you are digesting us, like, comment, subscribe, follow, hop in the chat, let us know you're out there. We will be going back and forth between the chat and here. But it's not just me talking, it's also our guests, and we got a big, supersized panel, in a way, today for the Superman episode. Let me introduce, I'm going to pick at random, with Green Lanterns in her background. We got Michelle, aka Blue Beetle's Bug. Right, Michelle?
Yep. Hi. Hello. I'm Michelle.
I can't remember last time I had you on the episode, but I definitely had you for the Blue Beetle episode.
Yeah, it was definitely for the Blue Beetle episode, and I think it might have also been sometime in 2024, but like early 2024. So it's been a minute. It's been a hot minute,
I'm
but
glad
it's
to have you
okay.
back.
Green Lantern's here, so we're back.
You hate DC Comics, right? Is that what it is?
I was going through my stats on League of Comic Geeks for like my comic logs recently because I'm about to hit 10,000 logged, and I was so curious to see like my company breakdown. It's like 9,900 something on DC. Like it's so Marvel, I think I have like 10. So send your Marvel Rex. I very much don't know anything about Marvel.
That's fair. Good thing we're not talking about Marvel today. We're talking about Superman. So, welcome. Also on the episode, we got Justin, aka Freddy's roommate, with Mr.
All
Terrific in
right.
the background.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here. This podcast is sponsored by Luther Corp. Hashtag super harem. Please support.
Hashtag super shit.
Did
Hashtag
I get
super
the ad read
harem.
right, Dimitri? That's
Yeah,
what you sent me, right?
yeah. We're getting super ad money from Luther Corp. So thanks for hopping on, Justin.
Glad to be here.
We also got Maria, aka Mario Watches Everything.
Hey.
Welcome back on the show.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back. It's been a minute.
Yeah. You just watched the movie, like literally a couple minutes ago.
Literally. I just got back from watching a movie. You were texting me to be on this episode while I was still in the movie theater
First
watching
things
the
first,
movie.
I assumed you had already seen it because everybody,
Valid. Yeah, because apparently everyone saw it before the movie came out this weekend somehow.
I mean, we'll definitely talk about that, but the movie did get some early screenings, so
Yeah, I will like to take this moment to say if you would like to send me to premieres early, please let me know. I would like to go to those.
Yeah.
I guess it's lame to watch movies the day they come out.
Yeah.
So I would like to see it early like everyone else.
I will. I'll let the people know. Where
Yeah,
are you?
thank you.
You're in New York, right?
No, I'm in Pennsylvania.
You're in Pennsylvania. Who?
By Lancaster County. We want to go to premieres here too.
If there's any in Pennsylvania, I'm sure they'll reach out.
Reach out.
And then new to the show, new to the Keeg shows, but here to talk about Superman, we got MOLOMBO, aka Hey MOLOMBO. What's up, man? How's it going?
Woo! What's going on? I'm hyped. I really do appreciate you inviting me. This is really sick. I'm a big Superman fan. I've loved Superman since I was a kid. It was one of my first superheroes I ever got to read. So I had the chance to be able to talk about the movie. 13 years, you know what I mean? 13 years. It's like 2012, no, 2013. Math is hard.
What, for Man of Steel coming out?
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah. So yeah, that's my little intro into what I was walking into and seeing in the movie. But yeah, I'm MOLOMBO. I love comic books. I've been reading it. Static Shock was my first. Then I realized Static was DC. I'm like, okay, then I have to ride or die DC. So
yeah,
that's really just how the loyalty started. I was like, Static Shock's DC. I'm DC gang. I'm sitting next to, I collect comics. That's my thing. We got the whole comic book box right here. It's in a Marvel Rivals like box, so you can understand the juxtaposition.
Yeah.
It was a hell of a deal. Hold on, I'm trying to. So like the movie is based off like All-Star Superman for all seasons, which I got right here.
Yeah.
So that's my parameter. You're gonna see me nerd out. All right.
I did reach out to you a couple months ago, and then you said Superman is the one that you wanted to be on. So I'm glad you're able to hop on.
Let's go.
Shout out to Derpy Entertainment out there on youtube.com/The Keeg Show, saying that Derpy is about to see it the second time. So, a really quick, did everybody see it one time, two times? How many times did you guys see this movie? Because we're here on a Saturday, so the movie literally just came out.
One and done, baby.
Everyone saw it once?
Mhm.
That's good.
Just the one time.
That's the pre-rec.
Yeah.
I saw it twice just because I was able to see it early, and I anyways had tickets for Thursday. So I took my mom the second time. So I was like, is my mom gonna like it? And I was like, and then she did. So she loved it actually, that part was surprising that she liked it as much as she did. So all right.
I don't think I could ever convince my mom to watch a superhero movie. You're blessed. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's been tough. Like my parents did not like superhero movies growing up, so I've been slowly like kind of how like Munchausen by proxy in a way. Like
What?
slowly
Munchausen by Watsy? What's that?
Munchausen by
What's
proxy.
that?
Not
I'm
a
learning
very
a new
good
phrase.
comparison.
Munchausen by proxy is when you slowly
What is
like
that?
poison somebody over time so they need you, and like there's Munchausen,
What?
which is you
What?
slowly
No,
poisoning.
that's not it.
That is
Yeah.
definitely not it.
Is that not
That's
it?
not it. No,
No,
that's
That's
not
it's
crazy.
whenever
it.
you pretend to have an illness.
That's
So
Munchausen.
you get attention. That's Munchausen. And Munchausen by proxy is like you make someone else think they have an illness, so they depend on you.
Yeah,
Okay.
don't you know
So
who
that's what you're
Gypsy
doing to your
Rose is?
mother?
Yes. Well, what
That's
I'm trying to
crazy.
say
You wanna
is the
take that back?
connection is slowly
You wanna redact
poisoning,
this?
slowly poisoning my parents with a little bit of superhero stuff over time until they realize that like, oh, they like it, and then
I would say
they wouldn't
being
go
a
to the movie.
DC fan. Being a DC fan is not an illness. Maybe a One Piece
Yeah, I was
fan.
gonna say,
Maybe.
as a
As a One Piece
someone
fan,
who
I'm like,
has
there's
failed
something.
medical school, I do not like allow this information to go
Okay.
out
You're
there.
a doctor?
Oh yeah, I failed medical school, but I went to medical school still, and I do not condone this information out there. Just
Okay.
saying.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair.
Damn.
So, here's the thing about this movie. Let's just open this up with ratings, just so we can like kind of start off this episode and talk about that, and then I want to rewind the clock a little bit, and I want to know what we were, thinking this movie was going to be and what we expected. But first, I don't know if anyone has their sort of out of 10. What would you rate this movie and why? And then we'll go into it, a little in depth in a little bit.
9.8 out of 10.
9.8.
I get it.
That's a
I-
solid
9.8.
high score.
You got a
Literally
couple
the-
thoughts why?
0.2 is quite literally because there's two things I wish he didn't do, but it's such a small thing. It's like a 0.1. It's like there's two separate things. One, I don't know if I like the spoilers.
Yeah, there
for
is going to
anybody
be
who hasn't seen
spoilers
it.
throughout this whole episode. So anyone who's watching this, why are you watching this? Listening to this podcast, watching this podcast, like go watch the movie, then come back. But yeah, go for it.
Yeah, the title scroll in the beginning, I'm like, I see the vision. I just feel like that it's Star Wars does it better. Star Wars just kind of tells you like the setting, but I felt like the title scroll was actually saying like a list of actions and events that I would have liked to see. Superman stops the war in
actually.
Baravia. I'm like, I would have liked to see that.
Yeah.
Like all this like metahumans appeared. That's cool. Superman is the most powerful, and that's cool. Then it says an action. I'm like, wait, I want to see that. I'm like, that was a pet peeve. Let's see. And then I would say the other point one is maybe it's my fault because I'm an idiot. Somebody on Twitter said Booster Gold and Blue Beetle was going to be in this movie, and they weren't, and that's still. I don't know why I'm rating it badly the movie for just a rumor. It's just, my brain is selfish, but like just knowing I came into that, I'm like, I'm about to see Booster Gold, about to see Blue Beetle. Nope, just dash. Everything else, David Cord said was perfect. Louis Lane was fire. What's her name? Rachel.
Brosnan.
Rachel.
Yeah.
Rachel Brosnan. I loved her, and I saw her in this one TV show on Netflix about some
Marvelous
British
Rachel?
dude. Yeah.
Yeah, love her in that.
Fantastic.
No,
It's so good.
not this one. No,
He
it's
said
on
Netflix.
Netflix. It's on Netflix.
What's on
Yeah,
Netflix?
yeah, I've heard of that. It's this show about like this dude. It's like this Liverpool guy. I don't know. His she plays like not a fixer, but something like that in a mafia. She's super badass, like super scary. I'm pretty sure that's Rachel Brosnan. But loved her. I didn't think I'd really like their version of Jimmy Olsen, but I love that twist that he was actually like a playboy, a ladies' man. And I was like, okay, I like this version of Jimmy Olsen. It was actually probably my favorite yet. I like the DC crew. I like that James Gunn got what he intended, that Metropolis didn't feel real. Like this felt like a comic book city. People are just okay with like kaijus just chilling out in this. Okay.
Yeah.
And let's see. I
I mean,
love
we'll go into
Nicholas
depth.
Holt.
We'll go into depth.
Oh my
with
God.
everything, but
Oh my God. Oh, my fault. My fault. My fault. Yeah,
No
9.8. That was my two gripes. I was about to get into it, but yeah, let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
okay, all right, 9.8 out of 10. Okay, all right, that's
100%.
solid. Me personally, I think just because I'm dealing with like whole numbers, I'm gonna say that I would give it a 9 out of 10, just because I think on Letterboxd it's like 5 stars, right? So like I did 4.5 stars. And that was like 9. A 9 out of 10, A minus, great. I didn't know what to expect with this, but I had trust in James Gunn. So I think it delivered, and I'm trying to think of like where it was a negative, and I think there was just a lot going on, but I think it was what it was. I don't know whether it was ever going to be more than a 9 out of 10 for me, because I knew it had to set up a universe, and it, and that's good too. I liked it. That's what I gave it. Who else feels strong?
Okay, I can go.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I was in theaters, first of all, I love a rating out of 5, so I will be converting my ratings to out of 10. But I'll say them first out of 5 because I'm an out of 5 girl.
Okay.
Okay, so I actually made 2 different ratings, and this is like the rating system I use for all superhero movies. The first is like, what do you think a general audience, like non-comic fan, like someone who's just like showed up to this movie, how would they think? And then my second is like, okay, you're an obnoxious, annoying comic fan. What do you think? Which is like my true opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, so in terms of general audiences, I think this is going to be a hit. I think I went to go see it at the Chinese theater yesterday. It was packed, literally not an empty seat in the house. People were laughing, cheering, everyone loved it. I don't expect everyone in that audience to be like an annoying comic fan like we are. So I gave it, I think for general audiences 4 to 4.5. So I would say between 8 and 9 for general audiences. I'm also like, we'll do whole numbers. As for myself, there were things I didn't love in the movie. We will get into that later.
Mm-hmm.
I gave it a 3 out of 5. I will be generous and upgrade that to a 7 out of 10. But in my heart of hearts, probably a 6.5 out of 10. That being said, we'll do rose and a thorn, right? Like compliment sandwich. I think it was very hard to do a movie that would be well liked by everyone when Gunn in question had to set up an entire universe, right? Number one. Two, he outright stated he didn't want to do like traditional Superman origin stuff, like, Fall of Krypton and like all of this stuff. He's introducing other characters, such as the Justice Gang. He's trying to make it feel like more of like a lived-in universe. Which I actually did think he did that last part really successfully. I liked, just as like a few little things. I love that Metropolis seemed like a lived-in city. It didn't just feel like discount Chicago or something. Like
Yeah.
it felt like a really good fictional city. I liked that they kind of had like the megaphones around to like announce evacuations. It sounds like potentially something that goes on all the time in the city. I really liked, and this is kind of dumb, but it was like a throwaway scene, but I really enjoyed when Lois and Clark are just chit-chatting inside, and they're like kind of there's like that alien that like the Justice Gang is just like casually fighting outside.
Yeah.
And it kind of felt like, oh, like, or whatever it was,
It was a
interdimensional.
dimensional imp, is what he
Yeah,
said.
I was like, okay. Anyways, I was like, it made it seem like these sorts of attacks happen all the time, that like, yeah, Superman doesn't just have to like go out there. So it seemed like the world kind of was used to just like all this stuff happening. So I did enjoy that. Again, we'll get into things I didn't like later, but I feel like at that point it's just me being like, I feel like they could have done this and this. There were some plot holes that did make me feel kind of taken out of the movie for a second.
Mm.
But overall, Hope Core, I did enjoy the film. Like I did enjoy the film. I enjoyed my time watching it, so on and so forth.
Okay.
That's my thoughts.
All right, cool.
Yeah. May I follow that?
Yeah.
Because I'm scared to like, yeah. Gut reaction, because I just did watch it. For some reason, it was 8.5. I hate rating movies for this reason, because I just don't feel like a rating can actually like explain the criticisms of it. I know there were parts of it that I loved. And I think the performances I loved. I think this is one of the best Lex Luthors. I think Nicholas Hoult was born to play Lex Luthor. Like he put
Agreed.
his backbone into this.
Yeah.
He like enjoyed this. He had fun with this. He was born to play this. I think David Cornsweet had a lot of fun with it. Like I couldn't even tell this wasn't Henry Cavill at one point. I was like, oh, that's Henry Cavill. I kind of forgot. I thought Rachel Brosnahan was like a perfect Lois Lane. I think all of the elements, I think it was all the characters, all the performances were perfect. I think the elements were perfect. I think his parents were great. It felt like Superman. It felt like Clark Kent. It felt like Metropolis. It felt like all the elements were there, but there was just a lack of congruency for me. And that's what it was. Like so something was off. I love James Gunn a lot. I love Peacemaker. I love Suicide Squad. So I love a lot. And I can't help, and don't hate me for this, but I kept comparing it a lot to Guardians. And there's just a lot of heart and hope to it. So like couldn't help but like, so that's why there's like a gut reaction of like 8.5. So there's something off for me, and I can't really put, I mean, I know my criticisms are, but like I know there was a lot of things that I loved. And it was performances, there was a lot of great elements, there was a lot of Superman, there was a lot of build up, and it was very hard for him to kick the ground running and build. He's essentially building a new DC compared to like what he was given. This is the first DC New Universe movie, right?
Yeah.
Compared to Peacemaker. So like he had a lot to do with this movie. So I think he had a big task. It felt like a callback to old superhero movies, which I really liked. It kind of reminded me of Iron Man 1. It kind of reminded me of like old school superhero movies too. So I kind of appreciate that. But there's just something like clunky about it, and lack of like something, I don't know, there was just something that wasn't like a straight and narrow line for me.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why that was like a drawback. But
I feel like you're apologizing for an 8.5 rating, but like
yeah,
a lot of movies would be killing for an 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I think like 8.5 is a solid superhero movie rating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially for like a superhero movie this day and age.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Justin, I think you're the last one.
This movie's excellent. Like truly in the terms of like in the super movie canon, if you will. I think this is one of the most comic booky superhero movies ever made, for better and for worse. And I would give it about 8.5 T-spheres out of 10 as well, because everything that sings and soars in this movie feels like it's like ripped right out of a comic book. Like I kept sitting in the theater, and all of the incarnations and portrayals are so true to form on what they should be in a modern context. I look at them like, that's Lois Lane. That is the most Lois Lane I've ever seen. That is the most Lex Luthor I've ever seen. You know what I mean? Like so true to who they are in the comic books. I think what you guys are hinting towards, or like feeling like, I guess that like lack of something, I'm for me, what lost that, like, I guess 1.5 is that it's just a little long. I think the middle part in this movie where they go into the Phantom Zone is a little long in the tooth. Even though like I loved it, and I love seeing like the green CGI baby like float in a river of plasma, I don't think
anti-protons, but you know, who's
yeah, I don't think it
just
added to my enjoyment of the entire movie.
Yeah.
But that being said, there's that beautiful moment where when Superman's down and out, he relies on who he inspires to help him out, and Metamorpho becomes a superhero. And I thought that was beautiful. And there's also that beautiful scene where, not beautiful, but when Lex Luthor like kills the falafel guy, and you're like,
yeah,
wow, that's like, he's really evil. You know what I mean? And it's not like, I think a lot of times in this genre that we love to watch, a lot of times like the bad guys have to be like planet destroying. They have to like murder thousands, millions of people. Lex Luthor was mean to an animal, and he shot one guy in the head, and you know how evil and dastardly is. And I think that's a sign of the good writing. I think that's a sign of how James Gunn knows these characters. And I think the problems of this movie is when James Gunn gets a little too James Gunn, his like inner, I guess, his inner tendencies just leak out of him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I do think that it's interesting that when James Gunn makes a superhero movie, a Superman movie, Superman gets canceled by internet trolls.
Yeah.
That does a little on the nose, Mr. Gunn. But otherwise, I think this is an excellent start to the new DCU.
Yeah. That's what I think. Just to say, like, if we do lend credence to Rotten Tomatoes, I'm just throwing it out there. Take it for what you will. 82% on Rotten Tomatoes, 93% popcorn meter. But then I also asked people who were on our Instagram story what they thought. And just some quick quotes. Jedi Smark says, as a longtime Superman fan, the movie that he's been waiting for. Leo the Animal 87 says, better than Snyder, but Christopher Reeves will always be Superman to me. Matt Bearpig 86 says, it's the cinematic warm hug the world could really use right now. And then Drew X Deficit says, it's sick, as in good, sick, to see so many people stoked on Superman right now. So those are just some preliminary thoughts from our Instagram story. So I think that's super cool. Let's rewind the clock a little bit. And I just want to know what you guys were hoping out of this movie, like when it got first announced, because we all have a different relationship with movies, with comic books, with these characters. A lot of, people are used to the MCU, and like the DC stuff that has come out previous has been, dare I say, hit or miss. What were your guys' like expectations from this movie, like going into it?
So the one thing I will say compared to like previous like Batman live actions is like one thing I'm really tired of, at least we're gonna take a break from Superman for a second, is that like I'm really tired of them adapting like the same type of villain, and in Batman's case it's Joker. Now in Superman's case, you'd think it would be like Luthor or Zod. I didn't want Zod. Like that, I definitely didn't want Zod. That was my number one. Like, please, for the love of God, do not repeat that. Like, we've seen it. Please do something else. He has a whole rogues gallery. Like, pick someone else. I was fully okay that they would adapt Luther. I expected to see him regardless. I was actually, so, initially the film was named Legacy, right? And I was really stuck on that because I was trying to like come up with all of like, my own personal like fan theories, like what does that mean? Legacy, right? And when he did, so I think shortly after, I think it was like within 1 month or 2 months of him dropping the name card of Legacy, he dropped the synopsis of the movie. And I don't have it like with me right now, but it was like one sentence where he was talking about like what does it mean to be like a hero, but it implied that there were other heroes around so that he wouldn't be the first hero. And I was like, oh, that's a newer concept. Like I'm used to thinking of Superman as like kind of like this first hero, like the Neil Armstrong of superheroes, if you wanted to go that way. So I didn't really know what to think of Legacy, and for me, when I thought of it in my fan theories, I was thinking of something like the Legacy of Krypton, but instead of Zod, I thought they would go like the Brainiac route.
Right.
So I was excited because I was like, oh, like cool, we'll have a live action Brainiac. And, I think with like a proper CGI budget and like proper writing, that could be really cool. And that hasn't really been explored for general mainstream audiences. So I thought that was cool and it could like expand on Superman lore. Admittedly, I did really want Metallo. That was like the villain I wanted in my heart of hearts. So I was sad when that was not the case. Um, I will leave that for now, but we can go into like later when other cast members started being announced because initially I was like, oh, this is going to be like, for the most part, a Superman film with Superman Metropolis characters. So then I was very kind of blindsided when other characters like I showed up.
Yeah. Did our preconceived notions of like of what we wanted to happen in the movie affect our rating in that sense? Because like, I
mean, I personally stopped watching lots of movie trailers, and I found that my enjoyment of movies has gone up significantly. I made several TikToks about this, about how we, as fans, we need to stop judging these movies and these works of art with the works of art in our head, because it's never gonna like compare to like what we've written in our own head to that caters to our enjoyment.
Yeah.
So I tried to go in as blind as possible. I saw the first trailer and I purposely tried to avoid all the rest of the marketing, and I was like, wow, this is pleasantly surprising how much I am surprised, and I don't have to compete with what I think it should be, and just take what the message is, what James Gunn is trying to say about this character.
Yeah.
So,
And as someone who doesn't read comics, I know like I have no preconceived notions ever. So It always
I
makes me
envy you.
really enjoy the movie. So I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm not saying don't read comics. Obviously, I'm just saying that like I can enjoy the characters and like not expect anyone to show up, but still enjoy the characters for who they show up as. All the cameos, I was just like, oh my god, they're in this, and that's in this, and then I look up who they are afterwards, and I never expect anyone to be in anything, and then I get really excited whenever they show up, and it's really cool. Same, because there was a lot of cameos in this.
Yeah.
I saw a count at one point. Whenever Bradley Cooper showed up, I'm like, Bradley Cooper showed up in 5 minutes of the movie. And then the girl from Twilight and Westworld was also his mother.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I don't know if you guys knew that. So I was just like, you know what? That's the first 5 minutes. So who knows how the movie's going to be the rest of the way. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew that this had a like from the announcement of the movie and that James Gunn was going to do it, that he had a huge undertaking, which is not only to do a James Gunn Superman movie, which I had all trust in him to do that, but the added kind of pressure of creating a DC universe from this. But it's not even creating a DC universe, like it is, but it's also creating the second DC universe. Like there's all that pressure that if he fails here, do we just do Batman movies from now on? Like, is that just
Technically, it's like the 4th or 5th DC universe that they've tried.
It depends on how you're cutting it, but yeah, okay.
I mean, are we talking about like movies that were supposed to launch a universe?
I'm saying from the
Like Ryan
Snyder,
Reynolds.
like the Man
Ryan
of Steel
Reynolds,
stuff.
Green Lantern.
Yeah,
we were supposed to get it all. We could have had it all, but nope, it's not gonna happen. Superman Returns. I don't know if you want to count that. That's not gonna happen.
Are we counting Black Adam?
Black Adam, who's supposed
Are we
to
talking
change
animated
the
universe
hierarchy of the
too?
DC universe.
Yeah, like let's
Everything
not forget the
changes.
animated world too, because that's a whole thing in itself.
let's not
too.
bring in the animated stuff
Okay.
because that is way too many. I mean, they've literally
And that's
a whole different-
successful. That's successful.
Yeah, but
No, they officially ended that universe too. It kills me.
with the Crisis on Infinite Earths,
Yeah.
and everything. Yeah. But with this, I'm like, oh, this is an undertaking. I think that like if anyone's gonna be able to pull it off, I am a big James Gunn fan, James Gunn superhero fan. I haven't seen like Slither and stuff like that. Like I don't do horror or whatever weird stuff. But like
Slither's more cabin in the
There's a
woods
deep cut.
versus
He came out of
horror.
nowhere with that.
but you know, his superhero stuff. Like I
Yeah.
had the faith that he can pull off it as long as there wasn't anyone meddling with him. And it didn't seem like there was. So this was the movie that he wanted to do. So
You know what's interesting though? Now that I think about it, like James Gunn feels like, I don't know, not the second coming, but like this second generation of filmmakers where I don't know, like at the beginning of the superhero boom, you had like we need to make these superheroes not like the comic books to make it work. So let's hire a horror guy, Sam Raimi, right?
right.
But James Gunn has been making movies about superheroes or superpowered beings since do you count Super
Yeah,
with
that's right. That
Elliot
was
Page? Like he's been in this space for so long. Like I don't know. Am I making any sense? He
No,
is
you are, because
uniquely
Sam Raimi had a
qualified.
point too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Speaking of Sam Raimi, I'd say like when you were talking about how this movie made you feel like the first Iron Man, this made me feel like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like it felt like
Yeah,
it
exactly.
felt
Right.
like
It brought me
something so fresh. Like
it made me
know
feel
what's
really nostalgic the whole time when I was watching it. It reminded me of like being a little kid watching Spider. It made me feel like I was watching an old school like superhero movie all over again.
You know what's
definitely
crazy,
those
though?
vibes.
Yeah.
Sam Raimi stole so much from the original Superman. I had a long flight to Sweden, so I watched the original Superman and the Suicide Squad. And I'm watching the Superman, I'm like, wait a minute, that line's in Sam Raimi. Toby said that line. Wait a minute, like literally bar for bar. Like there's
Like
a
the
scene where-
original Superman
the
movies?
original Superman. There's a scene
Man.
specifically where it's like, what's her name? Mary Jane is like, oh, what's your name? What should I call you?
Oh,
And
Spider-Man.
then Spider-Man goes, a friend. And then he like flies away. And then I'm watching on the plane and Superman, Lois Lane's like, what's your name? Because he hasn't been called Superman yet. He's like, I'm just a friend. And then he flies away. I'm like, you motherfucker. you stole his whole swag. Like, oh my gosh. It's so interesting to me that people are making this comparison.
Yeah.
It's like a full circle moment.
Yeah, I believe that.
I
If I had to say what I went in expecting into it, I was just hoping, I feel like in terms of what you were touching on, that the whole DC comp movies reputation just felt like always in friction. I felt like every DC title just picked up like all the hate from Aquaman. Like Aquaman spread his non-cool disease throughout the entire DC realm. There has to be a sign towards that. So it like to cut it short, if it was really hard to be a DC fan in a Marvel world. Like I felt like I was always I felt like Sisyphus, like I'm pushing the boulder and he's pushing back. I'm like the next movie will be dope. I swear to God. And sometimes you're right, but most of the time that boulder's coming right back. So I was just hoping that with James Gunn, I love James Gunn. I like a lot. I've seen Slither. Slither is definitely not like I would not watch it again, but it's cool. I believed in James Gunn for a long time. I thought like, okay, this is definitely gonna be cool. I enjoyed what he did with Guardians of the Galaxy, and like you said, Michelle, when I saw Superman Legacy and I read his synopsis about, oh, Superman is a good person. He's a goody two shoes in a world that's a little bit more hardcore. That definitely reminded me of like what Superman versus the Authority was this entire. There's a animated movie about that.
Oh, not
Where
the Authority. It was the Elite, right? Was it the Elite? Superman
was
versus
it
Elite.
Superman the Elite? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the Authority's complete. I just mashed two different things.
Like
My
Planet
my
Watch. You
my
mashed
comic
it
book
all
head is like a
together.
Rolodex.
Yeah.
Yeah. Planet Watch is interesting, but we'll go into that
Yeah,
later.
yeah.
I was hoping instead of Brainiac, when I saw that he was essentially basing off the Elite, I'm like, oh, we're getting Manchester Black. That's ballsy. I cannot wait. Like Superman's fighting a telekinetic, like as iconic as the first villain. That's fire. We didn't get that. That's okay. And I joined Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor. I was genuinely scared of him. He genuinely felt like, what if Elon Musk was a competent, but still had the obsessive like personality, and
Yeah.
to have that type of personality be so focused on Superman, I actually felt fear for Superman. I'm like, no, like don't do that. Like don't hurt my
Imagine
Boy Scout. That's crazy.
imagine an evil person who actually can pull off what they plan. Like for the most part, right? Like
He was so
imagine
competent.
that.
Yeah.
All right.
It made me understand why Lex Luthor is scary, but no, to uh I would say like yeah, that was pretty much my expectations. I was hoping we get something that reset the DC universe. I was hoping Manchester Black we got Lex, but I could say like after seeing the movie in terms of future villains, I now could think James Gunn could actually bring together a live action Mr. Mixopiddle.
Oh, Mixospitalik? Yeah.
Mr. Mystic, bruh,
Mr.
one more time.
Mixospitalik, it's weird.
Mr.
Everybody
Mixopiddle.
yeah.
I love it. Okay, I've never heard it out loud before. I'm just gonna send.
Yeah. Well, it is supposed to be like a mash of letters, but I don't yeah, it is what it is. With this movie, now that it's come out and now that we've watched everything, like there's so many thoughts that I have. Again, I saw it the second time, and like the first time I saw it with my girlfriend, the second time I saw it with my mom, and I do a thing in movies where I'm trying to judge reactions, and maybe it's a bad, habit of mine. But what was kind of cool was that like both my girlfriend and my mom afterwards were asking me about these characters. So like my mom was like, "Who's the weird guy with the green baby?" And I was like, "Oh, that's Metamorpho, right?" Like, and she was like, and I was like, "Oh, why are you asking about him?" And she's like, "Oh, that's like the one I didn't know." And I was like, "Oh, but you didn't know about Mr. Terrific either." And she's like, "Oh yeah, him too." So like she was asking questions like, "Oh, what's his deal? Like, what are these rando characters the mainstream public doesn't know? Like, what's their deal?" And like, that's really cool that people are interested in it. I judge a lot of movies by my mom's opinion, mostly because like she's mainstream. Like, she's not reading the comics. She's not. She knows as much about Superman as like the movies or whatever have shown her, and she's not even a big superhero fan. So for her to love this movie, and it was a packed audience on Thursday when I saw it, seems like it's going to do good. Do you guys have, I mean, let's talk about the meat of the movie on its own. What was your guys' favorite parts? Let's just throw that out there. Let's get hyped on scenes, because there were some really, really good parts in this movie.
I loved every scene where Superman made it a point to save anybody. I think so. What makes I agree with you, Justin. The whole negative zone space, the Pocket universe,
Yeah, Pocket
a
Universe.
little too long. But I think what made me want to keep watching was the fact that Superman was getting beat up, but he was still making sure to keep that baby like safe up above. Like nothing happens to baby. Like he's not focused on beating these guys up. He's focused on the baby the entire time. And I think that was what made to me my favorite scene. I was like, there wasn't an I love Zack Snyder, cinematographer of the ages, but there wasn't he was so focused on making superheroes badass, he forgot that superheroes save people. And I think
Yes.
like that stark
Yes.
contrast is what makes this like I'm like, yes, this is Superman. Superman is like he's not a cop, he's a firefighter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally, you're right. I love that part too. My favorite part was probably the part where I was like instantly I'm sold is an interview with Superman. Oh
Oh, that was
my
so good.
gosh. Not only was it the chemistry was through the
Oh, the
roof.
chemistry
I
was
was
palpable.
like, I was like, are they gonna fuck? Like Superman gets it in. Anyways, but that whole interview scene where maybe it's because I just watched the original Superman, and you see like Lois Lane is like, "Oh yes, Superman. Oh yes. How big are you? I mean, how tall are you? You know, to go from this where like she's like going in on him and he doesn't have an answer. He's like, I don't know. I just wanted to stop a war. I wanted to say we can't like it was a smart way to bring up the themes and the questions that this movie was going to answer, like a great way to prime the audience to what the thesis statement of what his vision on Superman is. It was like a fabulous like one act play of just these two individuals having it out, and I thought
Yeah.
it was so well written. I was like, dang, there's a college student who's like stealing this scene to do as a scene partner for like their class. Like it was just a perfect one act play. I loved it so much.
Yeah.
That's I think that's one of my favorite things. One thing I really miss about like the 2000s super like hero movies is like romance. I'm very happy that they
Yes.
brought like we talked about this like in super I think one thing that I really find frustrating about the MCU superhero movies is that they took out romance from those movies. Like there is a romantic interest, but there's no romance anymore. So like if there was romance in this movie, I think my only complaint is that there wasn't enough Lois Lane and Clark and Superman moments. Like there was, but there could have been so many more. And I kind of wish that I think we like almost could have had so many more. I really did like the what was it Pocket Universe scenes, but I could have had a whole just Lois Lane Clark just dating montage instead during that whole time
Yeah.
because that would have been adorable. Like if I am making breakfast for dinner for her every night, that would have been adorable. I would have had that instead. That would have been my movie. Their romance or chemistry was palpable. It was adorable. It just and that they're just I'm so glad to see romance in superhero movies again. It reminded me of like Andrew Garfield, Emma Stone level, Amazing Spider-Man romance all over again. I also I love whenever Superman saves someone, but I also really love when the little boy brought up the Superman sign at the end, just like Superman representing hope all over. I also just love that Lex Luthor was actually a bad guy. I think the symbolism of billionaires being billionaires and that's bad is always just like something that we always know in society. But I know this. I don't mean to be political, but like
No,
can't
it's
help
fine.
it. But like this, obviously, this movie is a little bit has that messaging, and it wouldn't be a James Gunn movie.
Yeah.
But to show that he is actually a bad guy, and Lex Luthor is torturing a dog, for him to imagine him chasing squirrels, and that's how he's going to torture him, and him torturing the dog to show that he is actually a bad guy, as well as also buying guns and like funding a war to show how his level of evilness was a really important message, and I'm glad they showed it. So it's really important that they showed Superman as hope and Lex Luthor is actually evil. So I'm really glad they show that. I also like that they showed so many miscellaneous characters in the DCU because like one of my favorite things about the animated DC shows is that they show all the miscellaneous characters in all of this. Like Harley Quinn is one of my favorites because they show all of the like miscellaneous bad guys that Batman fights besides Joker and
Yeah.
Riddler. So I really like that they added that with this. So these aren't just scenes; these are just all the elements I really loved about this world.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the Harley Quinn cartoon and what I think is like the Young Justice cartoon, they play with the
Yeah.
full toy box. And like
Yeah.
DC and Marvel, they both when they work really well is when they're able to just kind of like use what they want to use. And back in the day with the old DC movies and everything, and even the DC cartoons, because of the movies, they weren't able to use the full toy box. So like when the Nolan Batman movies were coming out, they weren't allowed to use those characters in the cartoons. So like Ra's al Ghul and Scarecrow weren't able to be used in Justice League.
Yeah.
And there was like what was called a bat embargo on that. And so like Warner Brothers had a tight hold on that. And so in this, you know, I feel like the reason we didn't see every hero known to man in this movie is because James Gunn chose it as opposed to having it chosen for James Gunn. Like he put
You
in
could
who
tell.
he wanted to for now. You know? I want to add on that like the romance between Superman and Lois was like, you brought up Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone, and like I remember their chemistry, but they were actually dating, and I get it, actors are acting, right? But like if I was there, I don't know what to think about David Cornsweet and Rachel Brosnahan, other than like I want them. It's bad. I don't want to like take what I'm seeing in the movie and put it on them as people, but also like, do they belong together forever?
I think isn't she married?
They're both. I think
married.
They're both.
Yeah, she's definitely married.
For now.
I'm saying I'm sorry to them. I get it.
Yeah, I was like, it's to be their spouses is so strong. Prayers.
I don't know how I would like. Okay, that's fair. But their romance was great, and I think what was really great about this movie is the recontextualizing of like masculinity, right? Like Superman is the strongest. Like it's stated in that third line of the movie in text that he is the strongest. And sure, he lost his first fight for the first time, right? Or like he lost a fight for the first time, sure. But like, I think what this movie does really well is that like he's the strongest man, but he's also full of compassion and he's able to love, which means love and compassion does not make you weaker. It makes you stronger. You can save a squirrel and defeat the kaiju at the same time. You can throw Lex Luthor's table. You can be mad. Mad is an emotion. They didn't say that Superman never gets mad, but they say like he's not going to kill someone because he's mad. Like that self-control is a strength, and that like you can do all that and not be less of a man, because these ideas of what manhood are toxic. Like we don't need Homelander from The Boys. They went in the other direction. I love that.
Yeah, we don't need to. It's a good lesson for the kids. You don't need to. I think like the idiom, like a grandma would say, would be like, you catch more flies with honey than vinegar.
Yeah.
Something like that. You can lead a lot more people and inspire a lot more people through kindness versus intimidation.
Right.
And I think that comes out even more powerful when you are someone like Superman. When you choose kindness, if you're the biggest one, if you're the biggest one in the park, but you're also, the kindest soul, you become a shining star. You just see it. People, yeah. Because it could be so easy, but you choose differently. It's a good person. We love Superman. It's good for the kids. It's good for the kids. We don't need I don't know. Maybe the Marvel movies still kind of did it, but I feel like they kind of like lost the wheels when Thor became like whatever Thor became after Avengers Endgame as a character. I was okay, so all right. Yeah. We love Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah, adding to that, I really liked Lois and Clark just arguing during that interview, because it felt so like the writing was very well done. And it felt like a real argument that they would have, and the ramifications that interview had in their own relationship made sense. Like it like made logical sense. And then I liked the way like you guys were mentioning, like the chemistry and like their bond and like their relationship like in movie. I like how it like how they navigated it like throughout the movie. And then I really liked Clark's line where he was just like, I wasn't representing anyone. Like I didn't care. Why would I stop to think about like, oh, I'm technically an American as far as everyone knows, even though I'm an alien,
Right.
and because I live here in Metropolis, and therefore I'm a representative of the United States, and they're our ally. So should I do this? Like he didn't care about any of that. He was like, I want people to not die. Period. End of story. And I really liked that scene. That was one of the scenes where, going back to what Justin said earlier, like when I saw that I don't think it was a teaser. I think that was in the first trailer.
Yeah.
After that, I was like, okay, I'm not watching any more trailers, because I didn't want to get spoiled.
Yeah.
And I tried to like scroll really fast. I tried to scroll really fast past anything I saw like in my timeline. I was like, don't tell me, I don't want to see anything.
Yeah.
Other scenes I really liked, and I felt like this almost wasn't brought up again, which was like something that I was a little saddened by. And it like brings me back to like how what you guys were saying about like Raimi's Spider-Man. It reminded me of like Spider-Man 2, where he's fighting the hammer and it like throws him into like the cement. And then there's the falafel guy whose name I don't remember, sorry, who like runs to come save
Malik,
him.
or yeah.
But then
Molly.
he
Molly?
goes directly inside to like try to like physically lift Superman
Mhm.
out.
Yeah, the
And
train
you
scene.
you like get the sense that like if the hammer didn't just like kind of bounce and like go back to being like, in whatever, that like he literally would have stood in front of Superman and been like, "Hey, back up. Like that's our guy. Like what are you doing? Like chill. Like not too much on my man." And I really liked also that like the other people there also were very like pro Superman, and like the scene with like the little kids. I know that was like such a small thing where they were like happy to see him. I also liked that even though I admittedly did not like how they had like Kryptonians as evil. I didn't like that at all. I don't think that should have happened.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy that even though the people like almost immediately turned on Superman, which I'm not even gonna get into, I did enjoy that, like, for example, the guy who was dressed as like a construction worker, he had like the hard hat, he like handed Superman his phone to like
Oh
look
yeah.
at, was that even with this newfound knowledge that Superman is allegedly this guy who's gonna be like this dictator of Earth or whatever, he's still like, I don't know about that. Like he was like, "Is this true?" Like he didn't believe it. He was like, "There's no way," and like he didn't feel immediately like scared of Superman. It wasn't like fear. It was like, "Mm, I don't know about that." I'm trying to think of other scenes, but those were like my top two. I do agree the interdimensional space, like pocket universe
Yeah.
thing, it did feel a little long, although actually I would have liked the movie to be actually longer. I feel like that would have resolved some of the issues I think happened in the movie that I had. But we can go into that later. But those were my favorite scenes. Oh, no, actually, one last one was when the Justice Gang was fighting the kaiju by themselves before Superman gets on the scene. You can see him getting frustrated with them because he feels like they're being unethical in how they're taking down this kaiju. He's like, yes, I understand, like this is, attacking the city, and like, Superman does his job of like, I'm gonna go rescue people. He like saves, the little squirrel. He like saves like regular like the
The
kid.
dog first, remember?
He's like going around, he's like saving everyone, and he's getting frustrated. He's like, okay, I understand, like we have to take this kaiju down, like we're not trying to destroy Metropolis, but there's like an ethical way to do this. And then he even said, he was like, I mean, even if we do have to like really kill it, like I'd like to do it and like as the most polite way that we can, like to cause the least suffering.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated that they like had him explicitly outright say that and like show that he was getting frustrated, and he was like, no, like why are you going for the eyes? Like that's so rude. He was like, we could try to like maybe rehabilitate this animal and put it like in a cosmic zoo,
Yeah.
which I obviously, comic reference I had to love. We had to stand.
Yeah.
Dang. I guess MOLOMBO does not believe in animal rehabilitation. Dang.
He'll
Whew.
probably be back. We'll have him jump back in when he comes back.
He's safe.
But Justin, did you get to talk about your favorite scenes?
Yes, an interview with Superman.
That's right.
Oh, inject it into my veins. Oh, it was so good.
Character
yeah.
moments are very underrated, right? Like some directors will make character moments just be kind of lazy, like just an
Mhm.
excuse for padding time and no CGI or whatever. But I didn't think this was lazy. I think this was like necessary, and I reveled in it.
I feel like it was the strongest part of the movie.
That scene.
I think the character moments of this movie
Oh.
were the strongest part of the movie.
I completely agree. I actually wish there was more of them.
Yeah.
I
Not to
have
say
like a
the
whole
CGI wasn't
notes
good.
app
I think the
of
CGI
like
was great, but my favorite part was the character moments of the movie.
100%. I
Yeah.
actually wished we had more of them. I wrote like a whole
Yeah.
notes app thing on like my thoughts on all the movie, and for like so many things, I was like, I love this. I wish we had more of like
Mhm.
this specific thing. I actually I'm gonna add one more scene that I totally
I
forgot. I
actually,
loved him in Smallville with his parents. That was
yeah,
Yeah.
so
I
sweet.
actually, I actually also really like the Lex for people. I know that sounds so silly, but like when they're playing whenever they reveal that he's a clone, like that his little guy is a clone of Superman, and it's revealed that they've been playing a video game, and it's like a bunch of like trolls, and it's a bunch of just like incels
Yeah.
like playing him as, and they're just like yelling at each other. I really love that moment. I don't know why. I just think it's really funny that like Lex Luthor just recruited all these people that are just like incels that are just trying to be him. It just gave me like a lot of flashbacks of like the people that I don't know, we can relate, like we just see in real life. But I just thought it was so funny that like he has this little like hive mind of people
Oh
Yeah.
my
that work
gosh.
underneath him who are just like he controls that control this. And I just thought their interactions were really funny. I just thought that was a really fun reveal. And
It
that's
had
also a
my
character moment.
favorite. Yeah, it had my favorite line in the entire movie from Lex Luthor. He was like, what was it? He was like, "My envy is calling. It is a sole hope for humanity because it's driven me to annihilate you. One ape, one ape."
Yeah.
Yeah, like
And like,
he's literally just playing a video game. I
yeah,
thought that was like such a clever way for him to like twist the way he fights Superman.
it
Like,
was beautiful. And the fact that 1A, that's the first thing he thought of was just a punch to the face.
Just punch him.
yeah,
1A, that's it. I loved it.
yeah.
Sorry about that, guys. Technical difficulties.
It's all right. We're talking just Lex Luthor and his fanboys. I thought like there was a lot of real life sort of things with this movie that I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like the idea that Lex isn't manipulating people to like work for him. Lex just has people that believe in him, just like Superman has people who believe in him. And I thought like that was interesting because that's life. Like even serial killers have fans that write to them in prison, right? Like, sure. And I think that like that was an important distinction to make. I mean, there were specific characters that I loved. I mean, the first character that we see technically is Crypto, and I don't know how you guys felt about Crypto, but I would love to. This is the first time we're seeing a live action Crypto. Crypto is such a big part of Superman lore, but at the same time, when it comes to adaptations, like they choose not to bring him in. Like he's easily able to be taken out of Superman lore, but like I don't know why we don't have Crypto in more things. Crypto's had a recent resurgence lately. Like he had an animated cartoon that was for kids. Then there was an animated movie that was, also for kids. And like slowly like working his way into like Superman adaptations. But now we finally got it. Do you guys like Crypto? Do you guys like the take on Crypto? Because I have some opinions.
I thought he was a very funny plot device, but I think James Gunn is going to run into the same problem that every other comic book writer who writes Crypto runs into. What do you do with the dog? After this movie? Like, what do you do with the dog? Is he at home? Is he on the moon? Is he with the super friends? Like, having a dog in later adaptations I feel like it's like a whole thing, but Crypto was fine.
It's Supergirl's dog, though. I think that's how they're getting him out of there. He doesn't
It
live
is.
with
Twist.
Superman. Yeah.
So a year from now, when you go see Supergirl, you're gonna be like, "Where's Crypto?"
Well,
And
he's
it's
gonna be in it, I think.
How much Crypto do you need?
Well,
I love Crypto. I love him, but like it's the same thing of like when you give like a superhero a baby, and you're like, well, shouldn't they be home taking care of the baby? You know what I mean? And then Cyclops' son gets sent to the future, and he becomes a whole different character. It's like a whole
Right.
thing.
Well, Supergirl the movie is supposed to be at least based off of Super Girl Woman of Tomorrow, which was a 8-issue comic miniseries. And in that, Crypto is in it, and I don't know if you guys want spoilers, but he's not in it for the whole time.
He dies. They kill the dog.
I was saying, knowing James Gunn, he might pull a Rocket and do something like depressing with Crypto.
They kill Crypto.
Yeah.
And then Supergirl goes John Wick and just takes out Lobo.
I would love to see Millie Alcock, spoiler alert, go John Wick.
I mean, we'll get there if they
I
follow
mean,
the
she
comic book
Dakaris
closely.
everyone, please.
I would recommend that book, by the way, for anyone. I feel like Michelle probably. I don't know. Michelle, do you like Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow? Yes or no? Because we don't have.
I only get yes or no. I don't get elaboration.
You could elaborate. That's fine.
What is like the midway point between yes or no?
Okay.
That's my answer.
Maybe, right?
Okay, so I think it's a good solo like run of Supergirl. It is
Right.
so it we are traditionally used to, and I think it works better in terms of Crypto. I liked a lot of his scenes. I did think some of his scenes were excessive. The one thing that I really was like, don't think that should have happened was at the end with Crypto and Lex. I thought that was excessive and
Yeah.
I thought it was over the top. It felt kind of corny. Um, and I understand at the end of the day, superhero movies are written for children because we're adapting a children's picture book, guys. I will admit it. It's a children's picture book.
I don't agree with that, but continue.
That being said, I was like, this didn't everything else was like okay or like I could live with, but like that was like the thing that like the straw that broke the camel's back. Like that I was like, okay, like I'm done after that.
That was
I thought it would
definitely
have been
James
cute
Gunn.
to have been like, oh, maybe he like growls at him or something. I don't know. Or like barks, but like hamming it up.
It's
Yeah.
definitely like a James Gunn moment to like see, like set up at a very emotional like scene and then undercurrent with like random violence. Like I think that was the most James Gunn moment of the movie where it was quite a beautiful because you have the Superman I'm just as human as you are speech and then Lex really hits him with some Lex Luthor stuff that brought fear and I kind of wanted that moment to sit but no exactly what you said, Michelle, we just get crypto just yeah, rip things up. It reminds me, there's like at least there's a scene in Guardians of the Galaxy where there's something no Guardians of the Galaxy 2 with Star-Lord, where he's kind of used as somebody that kind of breaks the tension, and yeah, I guess that's what we're gonna do crypto for.
Yeah.
In terms of the portrayal
I agree
though,
with that.
I like it. Yeah, crypto always got like the Robin treatment because I feel like DC was just too scared to do anything but their A-list characters, and I think that's what I really enjoy James Gunn is doing, showing like
Mhm.
the public exactly what you're did I say Dimitri or did I say Keeg? I
don't
wanted to
know.
ask that question,
You're
but I didn't
saying,
know
what do you
when.
call me? Dimithri. The Keeg is just the brand. The Keeg is the podcast channel.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was like your stage name. I'm like, oh, it was
No,
good
people
Keeg.
do.
Like,
People do
okay.
think that, but no, I'm not Keegan or Keeg. It's just Dimithri. But continue. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, no, okay, yeah, no, exactly what you're saying, Dimitri, in terms of what your mom was never didn't know who Metamorpho. Well, they call it Element Man, which I understand that probably would sell better to people. What the hell's the Metamorpho? Nobody knew about Mr. Terrific outside, I guess, the Flash show. So it was nice seeing like all these B-list, C-list characters really like seeing their popularity bloom with the way of James Gunn's portrayal. We saw Peacemaker cameo, so seeing like John Cena's Peacemaker's officially within the same universe, which is crazy to me.
Well, I have some
but yeah.
thoughts about that. I mean, but we'll get into. I mean, Peacemaker season 2 comes out in like a month, and so
Oh,
August
wow.
21st. And there's some plot points in the trailer that like lead me to believe that they're going a certain route with it. But I'm gonna keep that till later. But yes, did I interrupt you?
No, I think that's pretty much it. There is crypto had the Robin treatment. DC scared of using it because of the A-list, and I can't wait for I can't really see who else they. I think that's why I'm excited for Brave and the Bold because that entire premise of that is Batman teaming up with C-list, D-list superheroes, of just heroes not as popular as him.
Yeah.
And I'm after seeing the Superman movie, I understand how James Gunn would use Batman to continue to expand this world. Maybe that's the strategy. Like something a small swamp thing opens up the Batman world.
Yeah.
Like I really see the vision for gods and monsters.
Yeah. Justin, did you have any thoughts about crypto?
Get rid of the dog in the next one. Love it.
Yeah,
No,
I don't think.
I loved how he was such a good narrative device. That's about it.
Yeah.
Like you know what I I felt very writer brain every time I saw Crypto. I'm like, well, how can Superman get out of this? Well, Crypto's right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Another superpowered being. So I liked Crypto. I thought he was very efficient.
I mean, I like Crypto from a marketing point of view, and
Exactly.
I like him as a character, sure. But he made the distinct choice. James Gunn made the distinct choice to make Crypto not like a human, like an intelligent human brain sort of animated dog that like is a hero also. He just was like, no, he's a dog. And he's not just a dog, he's like a dog that doesn't behave or follow directions. So the whole like jumping on him thing, I thought that was fine as like a choice. Did I think that the Crypto jumping on everything, you know, with Lex later, all that stuff, was it a little too much? That's my choice. I thought it went on a little too long, and it was a little too much in that respect, but that's fine. I'm equating him attacking Lex like when Hulk smashes Loki in Avengers, like that whole thing.
That's exactly it.
Okay, no, I actually do comment on this. Okay, so I was okay with Hulk smashing Loki because it was like a one-off versus like Crypto was like doing that the whole movie.
Yeah.
And like it kind of made it seem narratively like when they were in Smallville and like it was so cute when like Clark wakes up after like healing and like Crypto's on his chest and you're like, "Oh, like they bonded. Like maybe Crypto will listen." And it's like, "Nope, he's doing whatever he wants."
I was so scared for the cows and the
Yeah.
camp farm. I'm like, oh my God, get Crypto away from him. They're gonna turn like Crypto's gonna use his laser vision on these cows and get some steak. I was so scared.
That's the
for these
boys. I think
cows.
we're so used to the boys.
But it's James Gunn who also made Creature Commandos and the Suicide Squad. I wouldn't put it past him.
Well,
I
when
swear
was
to you.
This
when
was
did
pretty
he?
It is a
tame for
Superman
James
movie.
Gunn.
It is a Superman movie though.
Yeah. I think James Gunn knows it's a Superman movie. He's not going
Yeah.
to.
I will say this was a pretty tamed James Gunn movie.
Until the James Gunn popped out. Until like it was all good. I'm like, I made a video on my podcast, plug still scrolling. About I was like, I have a feeling that James Gunn is gonna do some weird sex shit in this movie. I have a feeling he's gonna,
Mutantos.
like, you
Yeah,
know, it's like something
it
weird.
wasn't as James
harem.
Gunn. That was there
The
wasn't James
harem!
Gunn.
The
moment.
harem!
It wasn't
I hate
as
that.
harem.
I actually despise
By
that.
the way.
I was like, why
Okay.
are we talking about harems in a Superman movie? And
Exactly.
they use
Yeah,
it so
yeah,
much.
that moment
Explain
was
that
like,
to the
oh, it came out.
kids. Like,
I was
get
also
it.
like, and it's not the point, but I was like, little children who are here are gonna be like, "What's
Yeah.
the harem, mommy?"
Yeah.
And like
Oh,
gonna have to
God.
answer that
It's the
question.
I
birds
mean,
and the bees.
what are you gonna do? Like,
I'm gonna. That's like to the side though. Like that's not even like a complaint that I actually have. I was just thinking that in the movie, like, oh, this is gonna be fun. I
I guess I was expecting every other scene, but like
Yeah.
one or two, I'm just like, okay, for James Gunn, tamed.
look,
The James Gunn of it all was making your biological parents evil.
so let's
We can
Yeah.
start with
That's
that.
not even a new Superman idea. So I
let's
was
talk
okay
about
with
that
it.
choice, because I would like to go into that, because I think that I knew when I saw it that people would have a reaction to it. But I'm hearing a couple different things. How did you guys feel about the second part of that message being they're confused, simple people, rule over them, repopulate, create, you know, have multiple wives sort of situation?
Multiply and be fruitful. Entire religions are made on it, guys.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was a very invincible cop out.
I wrote a whole
Really
thing, so I'm
interesting.
just gonna
Oh, okay.
read
Oh,
from
I want to
this
hear Michelle's.
because I
Yes.
was really mad about this.
Okay, go on.
Interesting. Okay.
You can
As a-
Go off.
this
As
is
a
your
very
time.
brief, like
Okay,
before
do it, lady.
my disclaimer, and I think ultimately, like
Do
the
it, lady.
long didn't read is too long didn't listen was I think making the like Clark is the immigrant backstory, right? Like he is an immigrant to this planet, whether or not we want to discuss whatever nonsense Fox News was going on about before, like whether or not Clark is an illegal immigrant. Like we're even putting that aside. The point is, point blank period, he is an immigrant by definition, being who he is. Okay. Making Lex's whole thing is like, I'm scared of him because he's this all-powerful immigrant and he's confirmed to be this alien, right? Making it so that his birth parents and therefore presumably all of Krypton is evil makes it seem like the immigrant allegory of like he is turned good by America as opposed to like his parents were like the immigrants are bad. Like immigrants are evil and they're naturally evil and they were like good, made good by American Western ideologies. I didn't like that. That's if you want to like, maybe I'm the friend that's too woke. Okay. I didn't like that. Now, okay, that was my disclaimer. Too long, didn't listen. Okay, now going into it. Um, I thought overall it was just a very cheap way to do a nature versus nurture subplot within the film. Of like, if we're going by, again, we're assuming if Kal-El's parents are evil, that then therefore, presumably, Kryptonian society is evil and it wasn't just his parents, right? We're making this assumption. So then, therefore, his nature as a Kryptonian is to be this evil, like god, king, dictator person, versus like the nurture was like when he lands on Earth and is with Ma and Pa, he's raised to be like this like caring guy who like cares for other people and like is the Superman we know and love, right? Um, I didn't like this choice for all of the reasons I mentioned like previously. Also, there was just so many plot holes in this. I would have preferred if they were like, oh, Lex used, I don't know, AI, and that was fake. It was fake, like whatever. Or I had hoped they would have maybe have done that as like in my delusions, so then they could do like an AI is evil message. Oh, but we won't go into that. We won't go into that. Mainly though, is like the plot holes that were left like for the rest of this film as a result of this message. They never brought up the fact that his parents did, if they confirmed this to be true, right? They never brought up that his parents had said this message and wanted this for him in the future. Like, sure, we've confirmed Lex is evil in the end, but Superman, like, what are your thoughts on taking over the Earth? Like, we never resolved that. Like, sure, you were good in this case, but was it just to take down Lex? Like, I feel like if I was a human on that Earth, I would still be suspicious of Superman. I'd be like, okay, sure, he did this one good thing. Are we all forgetting the message? Like, okay. And my last thing, I did enjoy that they did have like all the different like TV, podcast, whatever, showing
Yeah.
like the discussion of this that would have happened, in like a real universe, which felt like the world was like a real place. It wasn't just like some nonsense. Um, hated everything regarding the harem. We're just gonna move past that.
Okay.
Lastly, if Supergirl exists and is known to Earth, why the hell was she never brought up in those news footage, podcast, whatever we're going to call it, in the universe? And frankly, and I'm going to do a little sidestep. Why then? I'm going to scroll down to my part where I was discussing Kara. Okay, Kara arrives on Earth. Why was he not like, hey, my beautiful, lovely cousin, who I'm friends with, enough to have a normal conversation if you're chilling at the Fortress of Solitude? Um, I just found out the craziest thing.
Right.
Do you lived on Krypton? I'd love to chat about this. Like, what can we talk? Because this has really upset me. Like, this was such an emotional thing. Like, it sounded like Clark really loves this message of his parents. It's like his only message he ever had of his parents. He like it's like the only images he has of them. Like, he probably had to like imagine like, them holding him. Like, he has nothing but this message, and now it's destroyed. Like, the message is ruined. And why is he not asking Kara, hey girl, this really upset me. Can we chat? Like, what's going on? No mention of that.
Because she only appeared
did
once and
like-
she was
I just want
drunk.
to say you were 100% right.
That's a really good
No,
point.
but I feel like the Kara's and mind you, I love Supergirl. Love my girl.
Yeah.
Not too much on my girl, okay?
Yeah.
But like, and I say this with me going between yes or no, would I recommend Tom King's Woman of Tomorrow? And I'm in between those two, still not too much on my girl. The thing is, like, yes, okay, like maybe she was still drunk, although she's under a yellow sun, so like I feel like that drunkenness would have wore off. She's at least tipsy, at most tipsy.
We'll
okay?
find out more, but
But
continue.
we'll discuss, right?
Yeah.
I felt like because that scene was entirely just to set up for Woman of Tomorrow, it felt entirely studio mandated. It didn't feel authentic. It didn't feel to me that Kara and Clark were friendly with each other. It felt like they were roommates, and it literally felt like a discussion I would have had with a roommate who just like came over and was like, "Oh, hey," like after like I'm like eating breakfast or something, and like she walks in at like 2 p.m. and I was like, "Oh, hey, like how was last night?" And she was like, "Fun," and like goes to her room. Like that was entirely how that interaction felt. It didn't feel like they were close. It didn't feel like they were family. It didn't even feel like they were friendly, which is like my number one thing. Maybe that will be addressed in the future and I'm just a hater. Like whatever, I will admit to that. But like I just it never like intertwined. I feel like my last statement, the concept of evil Kryptonians, it feels like a plot that was dropped later in the film. Like as they were writing it, they low-key forgot about it almost because they were so focused on like everything else and they never like tied up the loose ends with that. And it kept like, because I initially disagreed with that choice of having Kryptonians be evil, that remained as like a barb in my mind. Like for the whole movie, I was like, okay, how are they going to resolve this? Like, there's no way this is like, I was expecting it to be fake. So then when they were just like, nope, nope, it's 100% real, I was like, then how are you resolving this? Because if I was a public member, I'd low-key be Team Lex. I'd be like, yeah, get this alien out of here. Like, he's trying to kill us all. What do you mean? You know, like hashtag super shit. Like, I'd be with those monkeys, you know? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's my,
As a
there you
Kanye
go.
West
I'm
fan,
done. Y'all can go off now.
as a Kanye West fan, I can totally get like having a problematic hero and still riding or dying. Like,
Oof.
You
so I'm like, is
still
Superman
ride or
is
die
real?
for Kanye West?
Hey, I'm telling you, I'm a DC fan in Marvel world. I'm a Kanye West fan during his bipolar episodes.
Sir, he's
It's
a
a hard
Nazi.
road that I chose. It's crazy. Formally, he's apologized. Look what I'm doing.
Ugh.
If Superman told me he was, oh, did you hear Superman's going to Lord of the Earth? I'm like, okay, guys, it's Superman.
Can we-
Come
I'm
on,
immediately
like,
buying
it wouldn't be
Westworld
that
merch.
bad if
Like,
true.
So
Like
rewinding a bit.
Wait,
Rewinding
do we
a
have
bit,
wait? How
can
far are we
rewind?
rewinding? Can we not rewind?
Can we rewind a bit?
Go back to evil
Or is it
Kryptonians.
No.
Evil
Two?
Kryptonians.
Evil Kryptonians.
All right. Okay,
Even
so
Kryptonians.
when I said you were 100% right, this is why I made that comparison to Iron Man, because just saying, harem is an Arabic word in its origin. So as soon as I heard Arabic, like harem, I was like, I'm out. I'm out. I've checked out. This is just calling a Muslim a terrorist all over again in my head. So like, as like a Muslim girl in America, I'm like, I'm out. So I just call like, you know, like I'm like, you're gonna make that guy, like you're making the immigrant having a harem. Cool. Thank you. Like I was just like,
It was
really?
extremely
This is why I made
racialized.
the Iron. This is why I made the Iron Man comparison, because who were the bad guys in Iron Man 1? The Muslims.
So I will also add to that.
terrorists.
I will also add to
That's
that.
good
so I was just
commentary,
like, let's
though.
go
It's
back.
accurate.
I actually made one of my first videos I made on TikTok was like, you could tell me this movie was in 2011 or 2025 or 2030. It just like stands the test of time. It's the same story, same narrative. Like this is a superhero movie through and through. This is like an apolitical movie through and through. So I was like, I thought that was a cop-out storyline, especially because they dropped the storyline.
Yeah.
You just threw it. Like, why did you change the storyline only for it to be dropped? Especially because they doubled down on it. They even said the guy from Bergovia, at the made-up country
Yeah.
that looks so similar to another country,
Yeah.
he's like, oh, you deepfaked that. He's like, no, that was true. Then dropped it.
Yeah.
Why did
Well,
you double down and say it was true to drop it?
I think the point was, okay, I see both sides. I'm seeing that there was a purpose to it, but then I'm also saying it like that. In the back of my head as a Superman fan, I have a cope, right? Like a coping mechanism. I'm trying to am I deluding
Because
myself?
it's not
I don't know.
a hope whenever it's done over and over again in such a lazy way possible.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to say that.
But
I mean,
he
for better or for
changed
worse, that
When he changed it.
wait, which part are
Like,
we
right,
talking
this
about?
is not part of. Well, this is not like Superman's origin, right? Like, this is not part of it. Like, James Gunn specifically changed
Correct.
Superman's storyline to this.
There's some storylines where there is a quote unquote evil Krypton. Like there is like a
Yeah.
couple storylines where
But
there's a
was it with this
mistranslation.
harem?
No.
I think okay, I see what you mean. I saw the
Yeah.
harem point as like it's Superman's finally being racialized. He came in being white passing alien, completely fine. But as soon as there was any semblance of he could do harm to you, Superman immediately they find a way to racialize like
Yeah.
Superman. Like how
Or
can
the
we
other way
dehumanize
around.
this man, make him
Didn't
feel
his
lesser?
parents say that though, low key? Like, or I might be remembering wrong. But
No,
didn't his
I guess
parents
like
say
the way
like
I read it,
will
the way
multiply
I
or
looked
whatever?
it up and read it was that James Gunn changed Superman's origin to have evil Kryptonians to say this,
Yeah.
and they doubled down that they definitely said that, and then they dropped that storyline that there was no like explanation because like Michelle said that like no one asked afterwards like, oh hey, like yes he had that conversation with his father, which was very sweet. Also like, so I watched Smallville. And like it's a very clear-cut message. I also feel like the built-in storyline of nature versus nurture was already there. So like he could have already kind of leaned into that. So like him being like, oh, this is my parents' message to me. but he could have always had this battle of like, but the parents that raised me versus the parents that I never knew. So like, I don't know, like he already had a nature versus nurture story. So he chose this other story of like, oh, a message that he never knew. So I just was like, this was a choice that's been made before, a choice that was like half baked, and a choice that sent a message of an immigrant with a certain narrative that we've seen before that has a certain bias that doesn't really paint immigrants well.
So I do think that that's a feature, not a bug. I think, for example, the first thing that we see with the Kryptonians, him coming into the thing, they're speaking for the first time that we've ever, for the most part, seen. They're not speaking English. They are speaking a fictional language. Kryptonian or Kryptonese is, they've made up another language, and then they overlay the robots translating, right? And that language did sound, I don't know what it sounded like, but it did not sound Latin or Germanic of any sort. So
It sounded Semitic.
Sorry?
It sounded Semitic, like within the Semitic language family.
Yeah.
I just wanted to interject here. The one thing I actually feel like they could have just done if they wanted to like keep the message, but like even maybe like keep it evil, I still would have hated it, would have been, and they wanted to do like a nature versus nurture, and like I guess they could just pretend like Kara landed on Earth like later, like that was like the last scene in the movie, like maybe he never met Kara until in this AU, is like the robots like can't translate the language because it's like intranslatable into English. So he just has like, this video of them speaking in this foreign language that he does not himself speak because he was not raised to speak Kryptonese. And he cherishes this video regardless of what the hell it says, because again, he has no idea what it says in this alternate reality.
Damaged. It was damaged. It was damaged.
Yeah. It was whatever. Yeah, for whatever reason. Maybe he can hear them. He can hear their voices.
Like they could have megamined it. That's what happened in Megamind.
I love them because this is just the voice of my parents. Like, I don't care what it says. It's the voice of my parents.
Right.
And I feel like that would have been a far better argument on his end, almost, like, in terms of, like, in the public sphere of being like, well, Lex confirmed that, like, the audio was damaged. I had no idea what this thing said. And it would have at least been, like, a little bit better of Clark being like, yeah, well, I don't speak Kryptonese because I am a first generation American.
Yeah.
And I never learned this language, and I had no idea what they were saying. I obviously don't approve of these actions. I still don't like the evil Kryptonian storyline, but this is like the tiniest bit better for me.
And again, like there's so many renditions of this being done. Megamind, Lilo and Stitch, Iron Giant. There's so many ways that they've done this that they could have had examples that they could have done it the other way.
This could have been easily better done, for sure.
Yes.
I don't think that in the comics, in adaptations of the comics, they do explore certain things, and I think that's what a point of an adaptation is. Is to pick something and really focus in on it, like Red Sun, like Superman Red Sun or whatnot. But in the mainstream comics, I don't think they deal with nature versus nurture, other than the fact that his powers are different than a human and he has to control himself. Sure, but in the comics, both his Kryptonian parents are like angels, and both the Kents are like angels, and he has two sets of parents that are just amazing people, and he doesn't have to do with my biological parents are kind of weird and my normal my Kents are good people. Sure. So I don't think they really explore that. So in this, the way I see it is that they're Krypton doesn't matter. I think that's what I got from the end of this movie. It's that Krypton doesn't matter. It's what he's doing on Earth as a human, because we have that monologue at the end where he's just as human. I think in this universe, he's not trying to connect with his Kryptonian side. And this is the last straw. This is he doesn't need to deal with Krypton. He's dealing with Earth.
Yeah.
Small tangent. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Because
small tangent. I felt very Roman Greek statue vibes from the whole setting of Krypton and how Jor-El and Laurel was portrayed. So when I heard them speak, I felt that Kryptonese. It sounded like, because I love Giannis Antetokounmpo, so I'll watch some stuff with him and I hear him speak Greek a lot. It sounded more like Greek to me. So then I was like, oh, this kind of matches the vibe. Yeah, it felt like, I don't know. Yeah. That small tangent. Like I said,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a fictional language. It's gonna be eliciting something. But what we do go is, oh, it's a foreign language, and these foreign people have foreign culture. I
So
think
my
that's part
understanding
of
is-
the
I
thing.
Yeah.
um
Good.
okay.
Justin.
So I have so many points.
There's I mean, we haven't gotten into the clone. We haven't gotten into all the side
Oh,
characters,
gosh.
Mr.
Oh, the
Terrific
clone.
and everything.
Yeah.
There's so much. But yes,
There's
continue.
so much. I will say, I think it's important to note one thing. In the Kryptonian message, they do not say superhero. That is a word created by Lex Luthor. That is an idea pushed by Lex Luthor that Superman wants to start a harem, right?
Oh, yeah.
Not that like I'm giving like this movie cred for information that it did not give. I interpreted like as that the Kryptonian saying, "Hey, maybe you might live 1,000 years, so fall in love, love the people of Earth, etc., etc." And then Lex Luthor is like, Superman wants millions of wives and things like that. Because we don't know the exact they never say the exact translation of what it is. We only hear Superman wants many wives, and then Lex Luthor goes onto the talk show, super harem, and then the monkeys start typing and typing and typing. Right?
Also,
mind you, I've only seen the movie once, right? And I'm a fan of evil Kryptonians. Not evil, but I will say Kryptonians being not an reframing them as not immigrants but colonizers is very smart to me. And
It
that like like
does
the
make
Torches of
sense.
Solitude
Yeah.
is a Kryptonian colonized like satellites, things like that.
Mhm.
Why are there so many Kryptonians like randomly about like the city of Kandor? Why is that thing? Because it's a kryptonite colony.
well,
I
Kandor was a bottled city, so I think
You know what I
No, but
mean.
classically in
Well,
comics,
I mean-
they had to explain why there wasn't Kryptonians in other planets after the
Yes.
decimation of Krypton, and they're not colonizers. I think that's like they
But-
build that in to show that like Clark is the last of his kind because they're not
Yeah.
colonizers.
And I
It
don't
does
like
make sense though, because like I said, Invincible, that is literally that premise.
Right.
So like it does
Yes.
make sense.
it's a very
though.
modern idea.
Right.
And the same
Yeah.
thing was like why
Sinners.
is Jor-El the only one who is quote unquote not good, but what makes Jor-El and his wife so different than the other Kryptonians that they didn't listen and got their planet destroyed? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I like that idea of maybe the Kryptonian race or not culture isn't what we deem morally as good. I'm okay with that idea and I'm okay with changing that idea. Mind you, it's just hard to explain what a harem is to a kid.
Well, look, we don't
That's
have
where
to.
I snag on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Why are we
that's-
thinking about explaining it to the kid? Like harem is such a
Because there were
weird.
kids next to me.
Yeah, there were kids all throughout my
was-
screening. Like, I there's no way to describe that. where it's
Someone
like,
had to explain that Supergirl was drunk to their daughter whenever that scene
So
happened.
I don't like. I'm sorry. I don't personally care about the drunk part, but also maybe that's because I was in school when Clinton had his scandal, and everybody in class was talking about the affair, and I was like, "What's an affair?" to the teacher, and the teacher's like, "Okay, you're on timeout." So okay, fine. Like, why was I getting in trouble for that? And then I asked my mom. I told my mom, I was like, "I got in trouble today. What's an affair?" And then my mom was like, "Oh, because Bill Clinton, like he fell in love with somebody else other than his
Somebody
wife,
needs
right?
to explain it.
Cool."
yeah, that's all you. I mean, that's
My
all you
mom
really
wasn't
need
gonna
to say.
be
It's-
like, "Oh yeah, he got sucked off underneath the oval off his desk." Like, what is? You don't have to say that. Come on.
Exactly. But like I think it's important to note that the super harem terminology is an idea that comes from weird ass Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Can I
And
just
the
say
super
that being
monkeys,
super
you
in front
know?
of harem is like
I
10
also
out of 10.
want to note my understanding of Superman, because again, I'm not very familiar, is that he is someone who chooses, like he is super, like so strong, better than all humans, but he chooses to help humans. So
Right.
he could have come from evil people. It's never been like
think-
understood that like he came from good, that he was meant to be a superhero. He chose to be. So like in that case, it is open to interpretation of who he came from. So
I think you hit the nail on the head, Maria, in terms of it's what Superman chooses, and that's what makes him even a better example. I think when it comes to the writing of what Krypton is, it changes a lot, but I'd say the solid focus is the fact there's always more ambiguity in terms of what Krypton's about, who the people are. And every writer just plays a different lens on what that more ambiguity is. You have My Adventures of Superman,
Yeah.
where Jor-El, they were a colonizer state, and
I love
Jor-El
that show.
just it's very fire.
It's
I'm still
so
iffy
good.
on the portrayal of Jimmy Olsen, but I'm very much enjoy Asian
I
American
love
He's
people.
a
that.
brother. Come on, he's one of us. Come on.
That was my favorite part.
I like my Jimmy Olsen more more My Everybody Hates Chris versus Empire, in my opinion. Like that's like my feel for
So
like Jimmy Olsen.
you weren't fucking with Supergirl Jimmy Olsen, where he's like tall, dark, and handsome Jimmy Olsen, and Supergirl the
Okay,
show.
I'm always a big fan of any superhero finding their king or queen. I'm just like, that's progress to me. I prefer that in a commercial now. I'm like, hey, if there's a black Lois Lane, I'm all for it. I'm like, let's go, Superman, get your queen. Let's get, I'm like, fine.
Can we talk about Jimmy Olsen in this movie?
I love Jimmy Olsen. Love Jimmy Olsen. Yeah.
Jimmy,
I
get your shit
No,
together. You have a good girl in front of you. She saved the world, man. Come on.
I wanted to
for
see the
Eve.
toes. I
My
thought they were
favorite
gonna show
part
the
is
toes.
my
I
favorite
thought
is
she was gonna be
she
like
took
from
selfies
Atlantis.
to save the world. Just say,
What'd you say, Maria?
I love that she took selfies to save the world.
Icon.
She was smart, right? Like she was purposely taking the selfies, right?
I don't know if she was
Wait, I
smart.
love her. No, I
Yeah.
loved her. First
Yeah.
of all, she was definitely smart. I actually wanted to see more of her. She was one of those characters, Eve, where I was like, I love this. So let's assume that she's a fashion influencer. That's what I called her in my notes app when I was like discussing my thoughts, because she seems to have liked fashion. We're calling her a fashion influencer, right? So fashion, like this is her synopsis, right? Like fashion influencer accidentally ends up dating supervillain, ends up trapped in an abusive relationship, and ends up gathering evidence to whistleblow on him. Like that is an interesting concept. I really like that. I feel like we obviously it's a new concept given we don't have influencers not like a thing before. Like I love that. I love that. I feel like I didn't love how Jimmy was. I feel like going back to Eve though, let me focus on her for a second. I loved her. She seemed fun. Obviously I felt like when she was like when Ultraman like looked up because she was on the phone with Jimmy, I was scared for her. I was like, oh my God, like is he gonna kill her? Like
Yeah.
I was very concerned for her, especially after we had, that scene with Luther's other ex-girlfriend, who I don't think they named.
Yeah. No, she did have a name. It was like Floette or something. She had
Yeah,
a
she
name.
had like the pink dress on. She was
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the like
She was
prison
blonde
cell.
about him.
Yeah. Like I was like, oh my God, like is that Eve's future? Like, or is he just gonna outright kill her? I will say, I think Jimmy got some of the time that Lois should have had. Now, I will elaborate on that briefly. Lois is the reporter, Jimmy is the photographer. I felt like Jimmy did more investigative work, in terms of like newspaper isms, solving mysteries,
Yeah.
in the film compared to Lois, and I would have liked to see that flipped around. One thing that I did feel like was kind of ridiculous is like, okay, Eve is sending Jimmy all of these selfies. He is a photographer. Why is he not zooming in? Why did Lois have to be the one to spot that? That didn't make any sense to me. That's number one. Two, I actually, okay, first of all, I love the casting. Love that casting down. I've loved Skylar since Santa Clarita Diet. Shout out if y'all have seen that. Loved him. He was great there. I actually felt like he would have been more in character as Jimmy if he was the same character in Santa Clarita Diet than in this film. I felt like they tried to ham him up and make him more of like a womanizer, which he is not. He does date a lot of women. Women are attracted to Jimmy. Jimmy is an attractive guy. I don't have a problem with that.
I like that twist.
But I didn't like how I just reread Fractions, Jimmy Olsen's or Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen,
Yeah.
which shout out, y'all should read that. That's a solid comic. Um, I just reread that yesterday after watching the movie because I was like missing the real Jimmy Olsen. And one of the things I feel like Jimmy is in the comics that I didn't necessarily get from this movie, maybe we'll get it in the future, is that he always felt very sincere in his like relationships slash romances in the comics. Even if it's like sometimes he literally dates supervillains and he's like, no, like that's my girl. Like, Superman, step back. Like
Yeah.
that's my girl. And he really like is 10 toes down for his woman and like really, really stands behind them. And I just felt like, okay, maybe it's possible for him to not be into Eve. That's not the issue here. But I feel like, okay, Eve, woman trapped in an abusive relationship, probably isolated from everyone in her life, is seeking some semblance of love and normalcy. And Jimmy is like hesitant to even just like hang out with her after she's potentially like saved Superman, saved Metropolis. Like, dude, like throw her a boat, like anything. It wasn't just that in terms of his portrayal. I thought it was like the way there was like too many women throwing themselves at Jimmy. I felt like it could have been done in like a more subtle way. I felt like they were trying to make him like that guy and like, you know, the aura moments or
He
whatever.
was that guy.
Call it now. But I felt like it was done in a way that could have been better overall. That was my whole thing with Jimmy. Appearance wise, solid. Hope to see more of him in a future film or TV show where they focus on Daily Planet.
Okay. I do want a Daily Planet TV show because that's one of my critiques is that
I think they're coming out with one, right? Like a spin-off or something.
they're looking
No.
at spin-offs like what can they do? But like the Daily Planet people were so underutilized. Like Ron Troop didn't have any lines.
What? I think it was perfect. I don't need a Daily Planet show because they're supporting characters of Superman. Like you didn't need to know Perry White's backstory because Perry White is a cigar-smoking boss who's like, "Tell me the story, Lois."
I will take a Daily Planet storyline over a Devil Wears Prada 2 movie.
Yeah.
So,
Ooh, okay.
yeah.
I definitely enjoy.
I want to point out with Eve, I also really love that everyone just thought she was dumb and just accidentally took selfies of these apps. And I'm like, what if that's what she was doing all along?
Well,
Like, what if she was just taking these selfies, but she was really taking pictures and just happened to be taking selfies? Like, what if she was actually doing it on purpose?
I think she
and I think people
was.
like, yeah, I think so too. Like, I think like everyone's like, what an idiot.
100%.
She was taking
She was
selfies.
gathering evidence to whistleblow.
Yeah, and I was just like, wow, everyone really thought she was so dumb that she accidentally took these selfies next to a map. I'm like, no, she definitely took them next to the map on purpose.
And there's two trains of thoughts that I had with that. Is one is she just takes a lot of selfies and she just happened to catch things in the background, but she doesn't send all her selfies to Jimmy. She sends a lot. And those are the ones that have the things in the background. She's choosing to send something important. Like that is the context that we get in the scene. So it's either she takes a lot of selfies and she just happened to send some with things in the background, or she took selfies and she sent specific ones. And I think that's it because she didn't send everything she ever has on her phone.
Yeah, exactly. And like she was aware of his actions. Like she says, like he tortured her dog. He's aware that he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
So she probably did notice and like picked up on things and started like filing it and connecting it together. It's enough to like send him like a whole document. So
Right.
Yeah.
I think
she was a very underrated character.
Not everyone can be Eve Tessmacher, but we can, or not everyone can be Superman, but we can all be Eve Tessmacher
Exactly.
and ruin billionaires' lives by getting in on the inside. Let's all do it.
Let's all be
Guerrilla
influencers
fighting.
taking selfies.
Grimes, I know you have some dirt on your phone. I know it. The world needs you, Grimes.
We know you're watching this podcast.
Malumbo, weren't you going to say something? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah. In terms of my positive for the Daily Planet crew, I very much enjoy that they didn't reuse the whole Perry White trope of Perry White doesn't believe in Lois Lane. Everybody in Daily Planet took each other seriously, and there was just a scene where Lois Lane is explaining the entire conspiracy around Lex, and I was expecting the Perry White moment, like, I don't believe you. No, he's like, yep, Lois Lane is correct. Cigar in my mouth. We're smoking inside. Don't thinking about it. Let's hit this saucer. She's completely right. I love that. I'm like, finally a Perry White that believes Lois Lane. Because like if you have a Pulitzer Prize-winning writer who continuously writes the best story, she wrote a blog at the end of the movie that went viral immediately. I'm like, yeah, you're probably gonna be like extra super duper nice to her. She got it. But to hit to what Michelle was saying a while back, my favorite moment of David Corn Sweat's like acting was sometimes he just gave looks or just a lot of body expressions where you could see an entire story, and it was that moment where he sees his cousin. And I read so much because we have this Boy Scout always smiling, always trying to see the hope in things, and there was that moment when he sees his cousin. It's the first time you really see Superman so it's like a level higher disappointment. Like actually
Frustrating.
like I what like, well, I would say softer than that because I could the way Corwin Sword just gave that facial expression, I just read it as imagine being alone for so long, not knowing your cold. Well, I would say softer as and like where you came from for so long, and you finally other planets. Like all that buildup, and you just have a perpetual 17-year-old that you can't really interact with. And that's what I read from that. I was like, oh, they're going for I read that as like Superman, this is a relationship Superman tried to make work, and it's from Kara's side that she doesn't want to get close to her cousin. And I think that's an interpretation that's been explored in the comics before. And I personally I think that's more accurate of a cousin relationship than most other interpretations. Like it's both like I know it's like both like that friend you have off and on again fights, but you have to like be together because you're family.
It's family. Yeah.
It's a more accurate representation of trauma too. Like going through some trauma with family, like not everyone wants to like work on it and talk about it,
Yeah.
especially family.
Right. Especially like, yeah, with the age gap that they're in. There's so many characters and so many things in this movie. Mr. Terrific, that scene when he was fighting, and he when he like pops up and over, and I was just like, the first time I saw it was in awe. I was like, I never thought we would ever get like this character. Like I've been reading the comics for a while, but he doesn't get much mainstream play. He got mainstream play.
I no, I love Mr. Terrific. I'm glad that he became better than he was too soft spoken in the Flash. That was not how I read Mr. Terrific in the comics. Like he's the third smartest person in the world. I'm glad they didn't say that because I always felt that was weird that he was number third. I'm like, what?
Well, you know what they say in the
But
comics now?
what?
What they say in the comics now is that his wife he used to call himself the third smartest person because his wife was numbers 1 and 2. Like that's how they explain it in the comics now. It's a new.
He's a wife guy. Mr. Terrific is a wife guy.
Well, he's not only a wife guy. His wife is dead. So, like, his wife
no more
dies,
Mrs. Terrific. Damn,
his wife dies before he becomes Mr. Terrific, and he in the lore he's depressed. He's going to jump from a bridge, and the Spectre shows up and tells him that he has a future, that there is purpose in his life, and that perhaps maybe becoming a hero could, be that. Anyway, that's roughly it. But yeah.
I definitely I didn't know that interpretation of Mr. Terrific. His wife was 1 and 2. The last Mr. Terrific comic I did read, his solos, was back in New 52, where he had that relationship with Power Girl.
Oh yeah,
Very
when he had the
interested to
red
see if,
tea, right?
I like the red tea personally. I think colorway wise, the black, the darker black on the darker skin. James Gunn made it work. Cool. The red is cooler.
Okay.
I think the red just goes way harder in my opinion. My only other opinion besides Mr. Terrific is that the whole scene in that bubble was the most Guardians of the Galaxy moment of the entire film. Like this is the hallway scene from number 3.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you can't even deny it, James. You know what you're doing. Come on.
Somebody brought up Yondu, that it was like Yondu's arrows.
Pretty much.
But like it was what I liked most about Mr. Terrific is the idea that if you are the smartest man in the world, that you have to be young Sheldon. And like he's not young Sheldon. He is not, like, oh, you write them so they don't speak contractions. Like they don't say can't, they say cannot. Like that's how you write a smart person. And like Mr. Terrific was not that. He had his personality, he had his like flaws, which is that he doesn't like to connect with his emotions. He's like, no, we're keeping things business. And he was cool.
Yeah.
Which is not something you get with this technical, like, smartest man in the world sort of situation. He was cool.
He was good. I liked Guy Gardner too. It's like if there's one thing you need to know about Guy Gardner is that he's an asshole, but he comes in handy when you need him. And he'll always come back, like a perfect characterization. All the Justice Gang. I love them all.
Yeah.
Favorite Justice Gang lines from everybody.
Oh,
Like I
it's the when the little kid is like wishing for Superman, and like, sorry, Superman couldn't make it. Looks like you got an upgrade. And the music cue
best.
hit, I was like,
I like
oh hell yeah.
I like when Hawk Girl, whenever she's like flying and she has the guy, and she's like, "Oh, he's like, oh, you're like Superman, you won't kill me." And I forget what she says, but she basically kills him.
Yeah.
Like, whatever
Not
she says before she like
Superman.
smiles, and she's like, not like Superman, and she just drops him.
There
That
was a
also
gasp
good.
in the audience both times I saw it from the egg or whatever, not the egg, but whatever
The Alka-Seltzer.
Alka-Seltzer dropping into the cut from him to that. People gasped, and I was like, oh, I
Cinema.
guess.
I'm
It's fine.
still pretty anti superheroes murdering people,
I
but
think
my
that's where the
one
gap
exception,
happened.
my one exception is invasion scenario. Like if you are like invaded by aliens and like they're gonna kill everyone in an invasion scenario, you might have to take some lives. But if you're Superman, don't do it, please.
Yeah.
Well, Superman can't, right? But I think there is a room for a gray area with certain heroes, certain situations. Superman, no.
Wonder Woman should be allowed to kill. I definitely agree with you, but there's definitely some of them where I'm like, she got a sword, she got to use it. I'm sorry.
I would say here's the thing: that 9 times out of 10, superheroes shouldn't be in a situation where they have to kill someone.
Right.
Fair.
Like if you're patrolling the streets, like I would say maybe Spider-Man level or Daredevil, don't murk people. Don't do that. Like I would say if you're dealing with everyday people, nah. But wartime scenarios, like in this movie, I'm more okay with it, even though I don't want it to happen.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Also, Wonder Woman should have options to not kill because Wonder Woman can soothe the beasts. Like she can talk to animals. She can like not talk to animals, but like whatever. So the point being is that like she should have diplomacy of some sort. Like just like talk it out or take them alive. Like what is the situation that would not allow for that? Like very
What are the political
specific.
ramifications of Hawk Girl killing a leader of a foreign nation? Because everyone was mad when Superman wagged his finger at them, but Hawk Girl literally killed him. I feel like we
This could be a
smoothed
good
past
setup for
that
Maxwell.
real
Yeah.
quickly.
Well,
Low
Just-
key,
it
they
was
can say
Lord
that
Tech.
Superman did it because they don't know that it was Hawk Girl, and all we know is he was dropped from a great height. And Superman was the one who was, involved in that conflict before. I feel like that would be good, like propaganda. If I was on the Lex team, I'd be typing that up
Well,
on my
The
on my Lex
monkeys!
Twitter or
Or-
whatever they call it, Lexor, whatever they call it. Yeah,
or Metamorpho turns into acid and then goes over the body, destroys the body, turns into like Lysol, cleans up the area, right? No fingerprints, no
Lysol.
body, nothing. By way of Metamorpho.
He's still a world leader. They
You
don't know
thought about
this.
that.
He's gone.
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh
he's
my
gone,
gosh.
He disappeared.
Oh my gosh, this leads me to one of my favorite parts of the movie where Guy Gardner's like, oh, you're too ugly to join the Justice Gang. Justice Gang, I like that name. You're in. I was like, oh, that's so sweet.
That was a
Oh,
cute
Democracy.
moment.
I will have to say, I was actually the most nervous for this entire movie for Guy's portrayal. That was as soon as they announced the guy was in it, and then they cast Nathan Fillion
Oh,
as
hey.
Guy, I was like, oh my God, you should have seen. If you follow me and you're like on my close friends and like on my private, you would have seen the crash out I had. Like this was the thing I was the most stressed out about. Like Greenland, like that's the number one. Like that's my man.
I think
like,
I was worried for you.
like
when-
I had people text me that were like, hey, how are you doing? Like, did you see the movie? And I was like, no, I haven't seen it yet. Like, because everyone did like early movie. I will have to say, I really liked him. I was really happy with how they did him. For the most part, I liked the lantern constructs. They were done well. I did see the clip of him doing like the middle finger construct on the tank in the first trailer, I believe. So that was like, I don't know, spoiled in the trailer or whatever, but I enjoyed it. It made sense. He was fun. I liked his banter with Lois when they were like in the Justice Gang area. Felt very in character. Obviously, I don't love their outfits, but that's not even the point. His personality was good, and people seemed to like Green Lantern again. And I was like, thank you. Thank you, Ryan Reynolds, go to jail. Like, we are saved. Like, Green Lantern redemption is coming. Like,
Yeah.
please. That was my number one thing, and that was well done. So for me, that was the 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I will
Oh,
say
yeah.
that if I had to be a hater, I still don't understand why he is so much older and why his hair is still not ginger.
It's so
Because of that
bad.
line
His
that
hair
Lois
is so
had.
bad.
It was just for the line that Lois had. I can't remember what it was. What was
That
it?
should be
The haircut.
That haircut should be against your vows.
The haircut is
that was-
fine.
Yeah.
Why is it blonde?
Oh, that's
I
your
love
concern?
That's my
Really good
concern. I
point.
love the bowl cut. The
Strawberry
bowl cut
blonde.
makes sense. That's canonical. And someone was like, well, he's old. And like gingers, when they become old, they kind of like becomes blonde instead of white. And I was like, I
Wait,
don't care that
really?
he's old. Yeah, I don't know if that's true or not. Someone in my
That's
I
the
don't
Discord
thing. I don't think
I
that's
don't
the
think
thing.
gingers have a molting process.
source
I-
Twitter. But you know, I was like, I don't even care that he's old. He dyes his hair. Put it red. Make it red. Like,
Yeah. I loved his line about we're both of the cloth.
I love that. Love that. I have a lot of friends from Chicago, so hearing that like priest language being used
Yeah.
for superheroes, hilarious.
One thing
um
so yeah.
Speaking of Gardner, the whole hypno glasses thing. I read a tabloid about James Gunn confirming that's how people really can tell like Clark Kent Superman. I want to like it, but I feel like that's my
Kinda
my
corny.
13th reason. Like I don't know, it's just like
Well,
why like
I thought
Here's-
it was
like-
unnecessary, in my opinion.
Do we think
Because
Guy
Clark Kent
Gardner is like telling the truth? Not that he is lying, but do you think Clark kind of was like, yeah, they're hypno glasses?
But
I can
Clark-
see his.
But
just
Clark
I feel like
mentions
James
it
Gunn-
earlier. Like they
no,
mentioned
Clark
it
does
as
say
fact.
that he does say that he told like all of the Justice Gang his like secret identity or whatever, and then like Gunn confirmed that it was canonical, and I think it was like a Tom King edition. I'm not even
Well,
gonna comment
the
on
hypno
that.
glasses were an
And-
old,
No, yes.
like concept.
But the inclusion into this movie was like a Tom King addition onto the script, which I'm not going to comment on. I just think it's one of those like,
Tom King.
you know, you can't get into the whimsical of like his disguises are a pair of glasses and it works. Like it's a fictional movie. Like just believe it. Like move on. I don't think it's that serious. I don't think you needed the explanation. It was corny.
I don't think you need that.
The glasses work. Move on.
Yeah.
I definitely hear you, Michelle. I think like I don't know, it just undercuts like what a very human aspect of like the Clark Kent identity. Like
Yeah.
one of my favorite Superman stories is Superman American Alien, and there's a scene where Pete Ross and his friends from Smallville visit him in Metropolis, and they're hoping the whole Superman thing doesn't get to his head, and he visits him saying like "Welcome to Metropolis," and there's a giant Superman poster right behind him, and he's just like there is sitting tiny with his glasses, and Pete Ross talks to him and says, aren't you worried that people are going to recognize you as Superman? Like, what if you need to take off your glasses? And he responds to Pete saying, I take off my glasses all the time. And you know what people say? You look a lot like Superman. Like, that's it. Because that's how it would be. People not think Superman is
Clark's
a
not
normal
famous.
person.
Right.
Like, you
He's
just, you
Kal-El
meet a lot
from
of famous
Krypton.
people, you know?
Why would he be on the streets? He's Kal-El from Krypton.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Why would he pretend to be a human? He lives in the Fortress of Solitude. We know his secret identity. Like,
Right.
Thank
It's
you.
human.
Thank you.
I prefer that interpretation of how
Hmm.
people perceive Clark Kent. And like I'm not a big fan of the whole like, oh yeah, he scrunches on purpose, ruffles his hair, and that people I'm like, okay, no, Superman isn't doing that much.
He
Like
doesn't
he's
need
just
to.
you know, like
Yeah.
I prefer that. I think the hypno glasses just veers on the
The
side of
cop-out.
like could cop out and like I don't know. I don't like the idea of Superman hypnotizing people.
It's
I think it's a little too like yeah. I
But
don't
we're
know, it's a
okay
little
with the
too
super
Marvel.
harem now. Oh, he can.
There's the line.
He's from a different culture.
well, imagine if Lex Luthor did know that he had hypno glasses, the field day that he would have
Wait,
with like
I
glasses that
really-
hypnotize people.
Speaking of, I really love when Lex Luthor's like, "Oh, maybe I'll get the reporter that you talk to all the time." And I was gonna say Lois
Clark
Lane, but then he's like Clark Kent, and I was like, "Wait a minute,
Yeah.
or she's supposed to be the smartest person in the world." Like,
That's the joke. That's the
I know,
joke.
that was so good.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
Yeah. Yeah. So before as we close out this episode, there are a couple of things that are coming out after this movie. Obviously, we can't touch on everything in this movie, but like the clone and the the whatever and the whatever. Anyway, the point being is, this movie is now over, but it is for the first time in my opinion. Like I have this imagination of like what is the DC universe now? Like I can like after Man of Steel came out, and I'm not gonna be like whatever. Everybody has their opinions about Man of Steel, but like at the end of Man of Steel, I couldn't dream of what the DC universe was because I'm like, oh, okay, like I guess, like that's it. Like it didn't leave a whole world of opportunities. But in this, like we can dream again and like think about things and like we can have theories and gossip and rumors and whatever, and like there's a whole world. Like 300 years ago there were powered people on Earth. What does that mean? Like they mentioned that in the first line. Like 3 centuries ago, powered people were on Earth. Metahumans, right? So what's 300 years ago like? Anyway, my point being is, after this, Supergirl comes out next year in about a month, August 21st. Peacemaker season 2 comes out, which I personally think, I have a theory, but whatever. And then they haven't really greenlit too many other things. There's rumors and stuff, and there's gossip, and there's like in development ideas, but for the most part it's really just Superman or Supergirl and like Peacemaker season 2, and then like I guess Creature Commandos season 2. But anyway, are you guys looking forward to what's to come? You guys have any thoughts?
Get Creature Commandos out of here. James, we have to stop. James, let it go. Let it go. I know you love a group of assholes who learn to become a family. Let it go. We move on. I'm tired of it. I think James Gunn was talking about like, ooh, I want to make something like Batman v Superman, like bring the team together. And I was like, okay, if I had to put money on it, I think his next Superman thing, or when Superman appears, most likely, I think he's going to do Justice League International. Because you basically have half the team already, which like you add a Blue Beetle, you add a Booster Gold, you already have not Green Goblin, Green Lantern, and Martian Manhunter. You have like all the tools to make a Justice League International. And if you really need to get like sparing with it, you don't have to have Wonder Woman there if it's Justice League International.
Yeah.
Probably if you're gonna do a Batman, maybe put him in there so he can punch Guy Gardner and have the comics accurate pose where Guy Gardner gets knocked out. Yeah, so that's what I think he's gonna do.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, there's also the Lanterns TV show. That's also in production right now. With Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. So,
for sure.
If you had to say the number one project you're excited for, Justin?
Supergirl. I want to see what he does with it. And as much as I don't want anything related to the Zack Snyder universe, I guess if you have to bring Momoa back, might as well make him Lobo. Go ahead, make him happy. So I'm excited to see Supergirl.
Yeah. I have a theory for Peacemaker season 2. And that is because Peacemaker season 1 takes place in the Snyder universe. And Peacemaker season 2 does not. It takes place in this universe. There's a scene in a trailer with a room full of doors, and Peacemaker comes face to face with Peacemaker. I think that the Peacemaker from season 1 is going to he's going to kill his alternate and take his place. And thus, maybe we get to learn more about what the DC universe is like in ways that the Superman movie couldn't show us. Like, we get to learn about the little nitty gritty. And that's what I'm looking forward to.
Maria, number one.
Then there's going to be a multiverse. I'm going to scream.
No, I don't think there's going to be a multiverse.
I hate all of the
You're
multiverse.
over
I'm dying.
But
I can't do this anymore, guys. I'm tired of this.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
I'm tired of this Grandpa and Grandpa and Grandpa and Grandpa.
Like, how many multiverses are there?
As many that
Why
you have
everyone
Grandpas.
doing it.
To be fair,
No, Supergirl.
To be fair though, to the multiverse thing, DC literally started it with Crisis on Infinite
Yeah.
Earths. So I feel like if anyone is allowed to do another multiverse, it has to be DC. I say this as someone who's sick of the multiverse.
It's just I feel like everyone keeps doing it, and
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna do it better, and I'm gonna do it better, and I'm like, No one, just stop it.
I'm with you.
Yeah. Just like ban it for a little bit, and then we'll do it again later.
We don't need it.
But
The DC universe doesn't need it. But
FBMCU doesn't need it. No one needs it anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't like the multiverse personally, but I do think it's good when used sparingly. So.
Speaking of multiverse,
But it
when they
wasn't used
announced it,
sparingly, unfortunately. That's the problem.
No.
Yeah. But Supergirl, I'm really excited for Supergirl because I love Millie Alcock, and I'm really excited to see her in things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What were you gonna say, Molombo?
I love Millie. No, I love Ali. I love Ali Millicock. I have no problems with Australians. If she sees this, I just want to let you know I have no problems with Australians. You know, we could make it work. But to to what I'm looking forward to, I'm really looking forward to Lanterns. I think what's that one guy's name from the meme? Pierre, that's Mufasa.
Aaron Pierre.
Aaron Pierre.
Aaron Pierre, yeah, Aaron Pierre. Yeah, I'm really
Aaron Pierre,
that's
that's Jon Stewart.
I've never seen the Lion King or the Mufasa movie, so that's to me that's his last like featured role. I'm like,
That's how
okay,
he's famous, actually.
I'm curious about his Jon Stewart. I'm very curious about the direction they're going. Like how Jordan's older, Guy Gardner's older, so they've been the first Green Lanterns, and he's the newest one into the club. I'm like, okay. I feel like I don't know. In a way, it does run weirdly congruent in comparison to the fact that this is an age DC universe. So I was hoping for Kyle Rayner.
Yeah.
Like I would love to see a fully like I want to see all the human Green Lanterns like all up there like like the absolute DC Comics are putting Joe Mullion as like the head Green Lantern. I wouldn't mind if James Gunn goes crazy like that. That's personally my favorite Lantern. So if I could see the whole Green Lantern family, that's what I'm looking forward to in the DC Extended Universe the most. I don't want it to just be the three. Like go crazy as they go crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for Lantern. I'm excited for the fact that James Gunn said that his Robin will be Damian Wayne. So again, like that older DC universe, I'm like, Damian Wayne's the best Robin. I don't care what anybody says. The son of the bat just makes the most sense of
ban
who should be
him.
Robin.
Dimitri,
Like,
ban
I'm
him.
not gonna ban him on that, but
ban him.
100%.
that's fine.
Like,
That's
and
matter
do
of taste.
something.
Damien Wayne is the rightful heir to the Bat mantle legacy. Batman 666 is one of the best issues of all time. Like
Dimitri.
Batman making a contract with a devil from hell to defeat a
That's alternate
robotic
future
enemies of
stuff.
Gotham. Crazy. It's canon. It's canon. Check the new release.
Chat,
Check the new
That's
release.
Grant
this
Morrison's
man.
alternate future sort of situation.
And it being canon that Damian Wayne trains what's his name? Tim McGinnis? Not Tim
Terry.
McGinnis.
Terry.
Terry McGinnis. And that's Batman Beyond. That is the canon timeline. I don't tolerate anything else. Nightwing stays Nightwing.
I quit.
Red Robin
I
figures
quit.
out, becomes Cardinal. Red Hood stays
We're just writing
Stays
Batman
Red
fan fiction right now?
Yeah.
fan fiction prophecy.
So
they similar but different.
here's the thing is that's okay. We all have our different tastes in Robins or whatever. No, I'm not gonna go down this route. Great.
Good. Yeah.
You're good. But like what's cool though is this interchange that like in this new DC universe, because things have happened in the past 300 years ago, like 3 centuries ago, the first metahumans showed up on Earth or whatever they said, right? And it's like, cool. And Superman's been Superman for 3 years. And like, he's probably fought against Toyman, I'm sure. You know what I mean? Like, characters like that, like, he's had his adventures. And Batman, who knows how long Batman's been Batman for? Green Lantern Corps, like, Guy has not been Green Lantern for a year, right? Like, you feel like Guy has been Green Lantern for at least a little bit. There's a lot of stories to be told. I'm super looking forward to it. I want Teen Titans or just regular Titans. I need legacy. I need heroes having sidekicks and like showing the world what like heroism is. That's me. I can't wait for that stuff.
I'm personally a fan of Young Justice over Teen Titans. I think it's a cooler name, but I definitely hear you. I want the young kids that are the heroes too.
Yeah. Well, Young Justice the cartoon was like more like Titans the comic, and Teen Titans the cartoon was more like Young Justice the comic, kind of in like vibe. But whatever. Yes. Yeah. Whatever they do with the younger kids, do that. Do something. with his untapped potential. I need Tim Drake. That's my personal favorite Robin.
Period. Period.
That's where, like, okay, you could like Damian, that's fine, but Tim Drake is my personal favorite Robin, and I need Tim Drake to do something. I need Dick Grayson, sure. I need Tim Drake. Jason, I love all of them, but like, let them all breathe. You know?
Okay, Tim Drake, but he keeps his parents alive. That's the only way Tim Drake works.
I like Tim Drake with living parents. I don't need whatever. Anyway, the point being is, yes.
Yeah.
Shout out, by the way, to Brent Lloyd and Val in the comments on YouTube. Val says, I absolutely do not like Damian Wayne. I'm just, you know.
It's okay. It's okay. You're early on the path. You'll read a couple Son of Batmans, a couple new issues of read the new 52 run of Batman and Robin, peak by far. I've just said you'll come to understanding. It's just logic. It's logical to like Damian Wayne. You just haven't read enough. Once you read enough, you'll understand. You'll understand. It'll come see the light.
He's better Robin. Now. I just don't love the concept of Batman having biological children. But we're not even talking about that right now. Yeah. In terms of what I'm actually looking forward to that has been announced. Lanterns, although I am afraid. But I'm slightly less afraid because I really liked how Guy was handled in this movie. So obviously Hal is older. John is like his appropriate age in the comics. I like low-key thought that Guy in this movie at the end was gonna get like hit by a bus and put into a coma, and that's how John gets the ring and like set up for Lanterns. Because that's what happened.
I thought Guy was gonna die.
Silver Age. No, because he never like had died. I was like, he's gonna put him in a coma. Like I knew he was in Lantern, so I was like, okay, there's not gonna be like a flashback. I had assumed it was just gonna be like a coma thing, and it would be like a funny scene, like oh haha. Like I thought he'd like step back and like get hit by a car, and people would be like, oh, but then it would be like the next scene is like him in like a full body cast or something.
Yeah,
you know, like something funny. Anyways, don't love that Hal and Guy have been aged up. John is his normal age, so you know. Not sure if anyone's been following the casting for Lanterns. A lot of non-canonical like OCs have been cast. So
I think they're hiding the names.
I'm a little afraid. I'm hoping that is the case. I'm trying not to think about it. Manifesting good thoughts. We simply cannot redo Green Lantern 2011 or 2012, whatever the hell that monstrosity was. We simply cannot have that again. I will actually have like the crash out of crash outs online. Like we cannot do that again. I
like Sinestro.
Excited. Yeah, I like the casting for Sinestro. I'm hoping for a Star Sapphire. Love my girl Carol.
Sinestro? It got casted? I missed it.
Yes. And I don't know the actor's name off the top of my head. Sorry. He was in a good like TV drama though. I don't know the name of that, but I had seen a few clips of him acting from there and I liked him. I'm excited.
Thompson.
Yes. I'm excited for the Booster Gold show to be canceled. Because I think it would be hilarious if like it's like so in line with Booster as a character. Think about it. Like he has a TV show and then it gets canceled. Like that's extremely Booster, right? Okay. Like you got to admit that's extremely Booster. I think it would just be so.
Did it actually get canceled?
No, it did not. It did not.
Okay,
but I think that would be so funny. Yet. It's still in development. There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and Gunn has said, and I do think it was a negative on Gunn, I will say, and I think this is a negative on Marvel as well. This is a negative on like all people who are like a little too ambitious in the movie industry, especially for superhero stuff, is to announce a bunch of stuff in advance.
Yeah.
Because then some fans get like really hyped especially if like that's their favorite character. I understand getting excited. Booster Gold in my top 5, like I myself love that man down. But it's like, it is possible that they ultimately, maybe even they have a pitch, but they're like, you know, this just doesn't align with our universe. Or, you know, for whatever reason, we don't have the budget, or we just decided to include him in as a character in another show, but maybe he's just not the main character. And it kind of like disappoints people. So I just, as a small negative on Gunn, but overall in like Marvel has this issue, Fox has this issue, DC has this issue. Even like non-superhero franchises are doing this where they just are too ambitious, announce a bunch of stuff, and then have to like retract it. I know we've seen all the rumors with like Sergeant Rock, whatever. For now, Lantern seems like it's going, that it's in development.
It is. It's in pre-production. Or
it's in production. I hope for more successful news on other stuff. I wish that my other small negative, I wish that Gunn deleted Twitter off of his phone and stopped going to like the Twitter school of fan casting for characters, as well as like, and I do think this is the one issue with Superman that I really had as like the main issue, my core issue. Like everything else could be put to the side. I thought that they played it incredibly safe for the movie. I understand why they did it. You know, I understand that they wanted to have a movie that appeals to everyone, as many people as possible, to make as much money as possible, and to establish the universe on a safe footing. Like, I totally get that in theory. But obviously for me, and I think for a lot of fans, I think I would have preferred to see Superman take more like definitive action and like make more like be more stern almost and be like, yeah, like I did that. I I invaded. Yeah, I wanted to stop a war. Sorry, I'm gonna keep doing that. But you know, I understand why they didn't want to like do those kinds of things, both to like not make it like yeah, aggravate the people who make everything political on Fox News, whatever, like however we're gonna phrase that. Like I understand why they did that, but I do hope in the future they can kind of find more of their footing and Gunn can lean more into like some of his more weird stuff. I'd love to see the universe embrace more like weird Silver Age stuff
Yeah.
and just like, you know, be like, we are comic book movies. Like, let's do comic book shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
If I just real quick on your Booster Gold thing, I do like that Kumail. They chose Kumail as Booster Gold.
I don't know if it's official.
That's not canon. That's a rumor.
That's not
confirmed.
canon.
No.
It's not
That's
canon
a
to
rumor
our
that is not
universe.
confirmed. That has never been confirmed.
I would
That's
have
not
loved because
canon.
He was
I love
seen
them as
at the,
Dinesh
no, I
in
like follow
Silicon
this
Valley. I'm like,
casting
Dinesh
for like
Booster
ages.
Gold?
So he wasn't cast. It was rumored. Gunn confirmed that was not the case, and then he was seen. The actor was seen just like last week at the Superman premiere in TCL. But again, going back to my whole James Gunn goes to the Twitter school of fan casting. I think that might end up being the case for Booster's casting, or at least he might be in like the lead as a result because people like him and they're as a fan cast and they're trying to kind of like appeal to people. I also think they offered the role to Glenn Powell, but I think he turned it down. Okay. Anyways, that's
Who-
that's in my head.
Who
though.
do you
That's in my
think should
head.
be Booster Gold then, Michelle?
Oh, I mean, I liked Gwen Powell. I'm okay since okay, wait, I will do my little quiet.
We,
Um,
we
I am
okay.
okay. So Gunn likes to cast his friends, which I'm okay with. A lot of directors do that. That's not uncommon. That
Yeah.
born and raised in LA, baby. Like that's so common here. And you know, you got to get your friend. You want your friends
As
to
long
pay
as they're
rent. I get
talented,
it.
if they're talented, go for it. Like it is what it is.
Face wise, fit wise, Will Poulter.
No.
Yeah.
Will Poulter.
No.
Adam Warlock.
He only played a minor role. People wouldn't feel like he was a recast because he was, you know, covered in gold paint the whole time.
Yeah.
So like they wouldn't recognize
it's
his
just
like
gold.
actual face. Yeah. He has like the, you know, the figure and like the bulkness. He looks like he could have been like, you know, a football
He's
player.
buff now.
He fits like a more superhero, you know, physique, whatever. Obviously age would be like the drawback because I don't know if they're just aging up Jake, can you see him? I don't know if they're aging up JLI or not. But obviously JLI near and dear to my heart. So we don't know what that's the case. If they wanted to cast like middle-aged men, I don't know enough middle-aged actors that I would feel play Booster well. So
Okay.
in terms of if he's actually him in Booster Gold, The Big Fall, Will Poulter,
All right.
including James Gunn's School of Fan Casting.
Will Poulter would have been my red arrow, 100%. Like,
Oh, I
has
wanted a
the meter
native guy
sure.
for that.
Oh.
That's like a Connor Hawk. Okay, I definitely hear that. That'd be fire.
Connor Hawk's
Ooh,
a
that
little
should
bit
be the
different,
absolute Green Arrow. That's sick. But I'm not gonna lie. Ever since they told me that like my boy Dinesh from Silicon Valley could be Booster Gold, I cannot stop. I think Booster Gold has to be South. It has to be South Asian. Like to me, that's just like I'm like
I
I
think
know. Yes, yes, that's Booster Gold to me. That screams more Booster Gold than anything else.
I don't know.
Like somebody who wants to.
I would
hit me,
say
hit me,
I
hit
would
me.
say Booster Gold leaning into the caucasity angle. That's the Booster Gold that I see is
What's
this guy-
sarcastic about Booster Gold?
He's a scammer, he's a fraud, he's a liar. I say this, he's my favorite character, but like he's all of
Is
those
that,
things
is that
at once.
people's interpretation of Booster Gold? Jesus,
He
how
learns
did I
it.
sound when I
He
said
He learns
when I
his
said South-
lesson.
It's
Oh
the
my
truth,
God.
but he
Later.
ultimately starts off as a fraudster, as a scammer, and as a liar and a thief. It's not like no shade. Love the man down, but that is the truth.
I think
Breaks
No,
into
I just feel like
breaks
I
into
sounded
Salvation
crazy.
Man
and, like-
also started out
Steals
that way.
his
though.
well
he
yes.
literally tries to be a superhero.
A lot of Salvation Men do start out that way. Just saying.
There is
I-
there is there.
I saw it as more like always like trying to be the best like as you can be with like limited resources. Like
No,
Booster Gold tried being a superhero when all
No,
he has is really.
That's a very kind interpretation
Yeah,
of
that's a
him, and that's
very
how
kind-
he is
I'm
later
a
as
half
he
glass full
evolves.
person.
But like initially, for like half of his first run, he is not that.
He-
And
yeah,
I
he's
respect
kind
it.
of a
I
shithead.
respect
I've never read
it.
his solo. I've never read a solo.
You
So
must read
got
his
it.
solo.
He's kind of a
Matter of
shithead.
fact, go on my Instagram right now. I have like a whole like book summary of like what is about his solo.
I
So
followed everybody.
so we gotta wrap things up here, but I want to thank you all for coming on this show and talking about everything about this, and the fact that like this movie, there's still things that we didn't get to touch on, and that is what it is, you know. That being said, I'm just glad I'm so happy that this movie is getting praise. That's all. Like, I think that this, in a meta way, the DC universe needs a Superman. I think in a meta way, we need a Superman character. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that art imitates life and life imitates art, and we look at real people as role models. We also look at like fictional characters as role models. I think that the world needs Superman more than ever now. I am happy for it. So that's what I think. As we close up, I want to thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Thank you everybody out there for watching. If you're watching us live, you're watching us on youtube.com/The Keeg Show, or you're listening to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts from, like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, SoundCloud, whatever. However you're digesting us, like, comment, subscribe, follow, write a review, do your thing. Before we get going, where can we find you? What do you got coming up? Anything you want to plug? Michelle, you want to go first?
Sure. Hi, I'm Michelle. If you didn't hear me introduce myself earlier, I'm at Blue Beetles Bug on Twitter. I'm never calling it X, sorry. Or Instagram. Upcoming for me is San Diego Comic-Con. I'm debuting 2 new cosplays. I'll be doing Absolute Flash as well as a Jessie Quick in her alternate Earth that she was in Wally's 90s run. I'll also be Tora and Guy Gardner on 2 separate days there. And then I'm attempting to do 2 different other outfits that are surprises for later as like a quick change. But yeah, you'll see me there.
Awesome.
And you'll see me online.
Awesome. Thank you for coming on. Justin, you
can find me wherever toys are sold at Freddy's Roommate on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and everywhere on the internet. But if you like hearing my voice, you should listen to my podcast. Still scrolling on YouTube, Spotify, wherever toys are sold as well. But if you didn't hear, I will be at San Diego Comic-Con specifically just to see my favorite panel of all time, Dimithri Pereira's panel at Comic-Con. That's where I'll be on Thursday at 2:00 p.m. I will be there in my finest Keeg Show cosplay. I will be cosplaying Dimithri Pereira.
Please don't.
That's where I'll be, and you should also be there as well.
Yes, we will be at San Diego Comic-Con doing a panel.
At your panel.
Yes. Thanks, Justin. Thanks for the plug.
It's
MOLOMBO.
true. I'll be there.
Where can we find you? What do you got coming up? Anything you want to plug?
What's good, guys? I'm MOLOMBO. Besides being a super radical content creator, I make music. That's my favorite thing. You can find me on all my socials at hey_MOLOMBO. That's spelled MOLOMBO. There's not a U. I know it sounds like that, but it's all O. It's a strong name. What I got coming up, I just released a new song called Feed the Rich. Very communist. I'm sure you'll love it. It's like I put my manifesto over a hip hop beat. It's super sick. I'm making if you guys like Dungeons and Dragons, I'm making a Pan-African, think Dungeons and Dragons, but with African mythology. You should check it out. It's called Zaru. We have a website. But that's it for me. You can find all that at hey_MOLOMBO. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah.
Dimithri. This is
Yeah,
really
that's
sick.
great. And like a lot of cool stuff that you got going on.
Yeah. I'm swamped.
They should cast you as Swamp Thing.
Oh, yo. Hey, don't throw me at the good time. All right.
Maria, what about you?
Yeah, and Mari watches everything on all of it, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. I usually just talk about movies and TV shows. Right now I'm talking about Superman and K-pop Demon Hunters still, because I'm still fixated on that. And Love Island. The finale is tomorrow. We'll be watching it and talking about it. I will not be at San Diego Comic-Con, unfortunately. The site that I write for, Temple of Geek, will be there. Check out my articles and check out their panel. And also check out Dimitri's panel, because I won't be there, but he will. Yeah, so check that out. I will be in New York
not show
Comic-Con.
up, but instead send other people on your behalf?
I know. That's what I do. If you get as cool as me and famous as me, other people can go on your behalf.
Are you doing New York Comic-Con?
I am. I will be at New York Comic Con, so see me there in 4 months.
It's possible that I could be there as well. Who knows? Who knows?
You should be there. You should all be there.
And if I'm not there, I'll send someone on my behalf. Kind of like
Exactly. There you go.
you. You guys have been great. For anyone out there who's not already, following the Keeg, you can follow the Keeg at the Keeg Show on all social media. TikTok and Instagram are our two biggest ones. We're also on like Blue Sky and Threads and all of that. At the Keeg Show / the Keeg Show, anywhere you can find the Keeg, we are there. The Keeg is a channel, so there's multiple podcasts for the Keeg. This is the Keeg Talks, where we talk about movies and TV shows and whatnot. But we also have Comic Talk that we do every Thursday, where we talk about new comic book releases. That we read in like 24 hours. So that's like a consistent thing. And then we also have like the Keeg Chats. We got a bunch of different shows. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok and find out more there. The Keeg will be doing a panel at San Diego Comic-Con. It is Comics for Education. So it's about comics for schools, libraries, the home. Like if you're looking for educational comics or comics that teach different things, we're talking about the joy of comics and what to look for and that sort of thing. So we will be doing a panel there, and then just everywhere at San Diego Comic-Con, we'll just be like walking around and doing our own thing. So that'll be super cool. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Thank you to everybody out there watching. Once again, I am your host, Dimithri Pereira, and this has been the Keeg Talks Superman. Take care, everybody. See you guys next time. Everybody say bye.
Bye.
This is up and away. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.